Good Tuesday morning, everybody in the Delaware Valley and beyond. Hope you're all having a great day today. Another warm one tomorrow. So make sure you take care of yourselves. If you see any of the men and women out on the streets that are doing their jobs outside, don't be afraid to go grab them a Gatorade or something like that. Help them out. Because it's just brutal out there, and I feel bad for the people that are working outside. So let's make sure we take care of each other. Hope you're having a great one. Amy Fadul, is she all linked up with us?
I sure am.
There she is. How are you today, Aim?
I'm good. I'm over here in Camden.
Yes, you are. She is at the Sixers practice facility. So we have a really interesting day going on here for you. And there's been only about 3,000 phone calls between last night and this morning about how we're working this all out. So just to fill you in, Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility in Camden as they are going to make available in a media scrum Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Andre Drummond. They will speak to the media. Kelly Oubre will go first. Now, the plan that has taken forever to try to work out, and we thank the 76ers for their cooperation on this, Kelly Oubre is going to talk to the media. The plan right now is immediately is when he's done, he's going to call us. So we'll have Kelly Oubre on as a guest. The other two will follow. Our game plan, hopefully, is to also have them call into the show. And we will have the three of them, hopefully, on these very airwaves to let us know how their summer is going. But Amy's going to stick with us from now until about 11. Then you have to do some inside work, right?
Mm-hmm. We're going to go chit-chat with some of the fellas. It looks like they're going to kind of have them out there each. First I think it'll be Oubre, and then it'll be Drummond, and then Martin. I'm not entirely sure of the order. And then, when one peels off, I think Kelly Oubre will come up here, and then hopefully I can come up with him, and we'll chit-chat everybody together, and then, it'll so on and so forth. And then, of course, I'll join you from the Ricky Radio Room.
That's right. And then Amy's going to make her way back to the Wells Fargo Center, get in the Ricky Radio Room. Now, is there a sign on the Ricky Radio Room, or is it just...
You know what? There should be. It's just a glass door, and now that you say that, it's a little disappointing there isn't one. So we'll go ahead and I'll make one.
We may have to gift him that. Yes, we might have to do a little Amazon ordering or something like that and get the Ricky Media Room properly named and properly titled. So, Ray, how are you today? Everything going well?
Everything's going good.
Yeah?
Happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here because we have adopted you as our favorite producer. As I told him this morning, Aim, there's a story behind it. I will fill you in off the air. But we can't get into anything until we get past this.
Now, the front page. The stories everyone's talking about. 97.5, The Fanatic.
There's a ton of series during a season, a baseball season, and many of which you get excited about. Well, this one excites me maybe the most in the first half of baseball. As tonight, the Phillies will host the Los Angeles Dodgers, two best teams in the National League. They go at it at 6:40 tonight. Zach Wheeler takes his 2.74 ERA, 9 wins, to the mound. He goes against Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller, 1-1 with a 6.12 ERA. The righty in his last 19 innings. This might excite you people. Amy, just calm down on your excitement level here as I tell you. Miller in his last 19 innings, I think it's a 7-game span, 23 hits, 17 earned runs, 16 walks. That's an 8.05 ERA during that time. So hopefully the Phillies can jump all over him. If they're going to do that, well, it might start with the opening batter of the night, which is expected to be Kyle Schwarber. Trey Turner, who follows him, all he's done in his last, I believe, 6 games, 12 for 30, 8 runs scored, 4 home runs, 11 RBI. He's hitting 400 over his last 30 at-bats. Bryce Harper, I heard the morning show talking about a little bit. And I think a caller called in. It might have been Graff saying, no, hold him out till after the All-Star break. No, if he's healthy, me, Bob Cooney, if I'm manager, you okay, Bryce? Seriously, 100%? Doctors, he okay? Yeah? All right, man, you're hitting third tonight. I would do it. I don't care, All-Star game. I don't care any of that. If he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Throw him in there. So we'll see how that all plays out. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, those two teams go at it again. That game's on ESPN. Gavin Stone, righty for the Dodgers, who's 9-2 with a 3.03 ERA, goes against Christopher Sanchez. And then Thursday, 6 o'clock start. Right-hander Landon Knack goes for the Dodgers against Aaron Nola. The Braves, last night, their rundown, 2 outs, 9th inning. Sean Murphy comes up and hits a 2-run homer. Puts them ahead. The Diamondbacks, though, tie it. It goes to extra innings. And the Braves do wind up winning 5-4 in a game that they should have lost. The lead is now down to 7.5 games for your fighting Phils. 76ers, as we said, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Andre Drummond are all speaking today. That's where Amy is. And we are hopeful to get 1, 2, if not all of them on as guests on this very show today. Last night, Naeem, we talked on the phone a couple of times. I don't know if you were catching it or not. Summer League started last night for the 76ers in Salt Lake City. I had to run a couple errands right as the game started, so I didn't get back until, I guess it was midway through the second quarter. So I did watch from then on. Ricky Council IV, I think he went for like 29 points, had like 19 straight in the fourth quarter. Looked good. Look, there's ways you watch these Summer League games, right, Aim?
Yeah.
It's not like you watch it the way you watch a regular NBA game.
You're looking for like sparks. You're looking for, how does he, jump? How does he move with everybody else? I mean, and if there's somebody that's like going to surprise you, but you don't watch it as if you're watching like an, regular season NBA game. Exactly.
You couldn't have put it any better. And I have been fortunate/unfortunate enough to have seen hundreds of Summer League games in my career, maybe approaching the 1,000 mark. Among going to Orlando, Utah, Vegas for various summer leagues throughout my life. There's one thing that the coaches are looking for from players, and that's hustle. Hustle, run. The one thing that I liked about Ricky Council, so when you talk about hustle, every team is telling their players to close out on shooters. They don't care if they beat them off the dribble with a pump fake or anything like that. Close out on shooter, get a hand on the shooter. Ricky Council was making 3-point shots last night with guys running at him. Like, it's a little thing that you're talking about, Aim. You don't look at it as a normal game, but you look at it for certain levels of things. That certain level I was okay with last night. Ricky Council was making shots. That was good last night. I don't know, did you get to see Jared McCain highlights or anything like that?
I did. We went to Topgolf for a little bit. Shawnee wanted to play some golf, and then we got home, and I had recorded it.
Of course,
so I
you
watched
did.
the second half, and then I went back and watched the first half. McCain looks good. I mean, I'm not super surprised that he is adept at ball handling and finding the open man. I thought the pick and roll and some of the high-low action with him and Adem Bona I thought was really nice. Bona, talk about somebody that could jump out the gym. I thought he showed out very well. Ricky Council obviously jumped off the screen. It's always interesting to me because there's a bunch of guys, and I think the Sixers put it out, just like meet our summer league team. And these guys tell you like where they played last year, and it'll be South Korea, it'll be France, and they'll tell you where they went to college. And I'm thinking that's when I think that I'd love to talk to some of the rookies and see like you're going against grown men that are this is their livelihood. They're trying to make a team, and you're just trying to make a good impression. It's such a kind of like a different dynamic over at the Summer League because there are guys that are literally fighting for their livelihoods and other guys that are just trying to like, hey, maybe, I can work my way into the, getting some starter minutes. So I thought Ricky Council obviously jumped right off the screen. His athleticism, we knew that. But Jerry McCain was impressive. I knew he would be. I mean, we watched him in college. I thought that he did very well. Like I said, I enjoyed the high-low he had with Bona out there.
It was funny. There was a name that popped into my mind, and then I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Oh, people, please stop comparing." But Jalen Brunson's game, not that he's as good as Jalen Brunson as we know, but that type of game, it jumped into my mind as like, oh, I see. He controls the flow, much like a Jalen Brunson does. That's. Look, let's not get crazy. He's not Jalen Brunson. What I'm saying is it's that kind of craftiness that you see, getting guys on his back and slowing down. I thought he was really good at the way he changes his pace. Fast to slow, slow to fast. I'll tell you what, I really liked seeing him last night. Has nothing to do with the competition. Had to do with court awareness. Had to do of where to put his defender. had to do with the calmness of which he plays in an environment that is anything but calm. Those summer league games are, here, guys, we're going to light a firecracker and we're going to put it up your butt, and that's how you're going to play this whole game. That's exactly, sorry, Ray, that's exactly the way they want guys playing in summer league. He brought the pace to the way he liked to play. So I thought there were some good things to see there. And as you said, Dembona last night, here's what I wrote down, Aim, very interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's a motor there, and there is a leaping ability, and knowing where to go. Like one time they were on a fast break. I don't know if it was Council. It was to the left side of the court, and he was up around the 3-point area. And Bona saw that the defense was fading more towards the shooter at the 3-point line, and he kind of just took a 2-step sprint that put him right in the middle of the lane, wide open. Now he didn't get the ball, but it was a good basketball play on his part. And, that made me notice him a little bit. All right, let's move on. The Eagles, well, they're 1 month from today, Aim, is the first preseason game.
Oh, that's fun.
Look how excited you are.
That's fun.
Yeah.
2 weeks until camp. I'm in the near term.
All right, we'll go.
The preseason game does very little for me.
All right. Yeah, before that, we have to do the camp, so that's coming up too. So all that is going on. On the national front, really not a lot. There's one thing I want to bring up a little bit later on, and it is on the national front. It's on the international front also. And that's interest in Olympics. Because I have to say, as you know, Aim, I often question myself about things and take deeper looks and all. I've surprised myself. So we'll get into that a little bit later when it comes to the Olympics. All right, to start it off today, Aim, I do want to talk Phillies. And I think this is exactly what I want right now for the Philadelphia Phillies. I think we talked to Tom McCarthy yesterday, and there's been a clip being played on our promotions today. And it's the part where Tom said, yeah, I think they're fine. Like some guys are just in a little bit of a funk, and that's going to happen during the season. You know how you get out of that to me? You play a really good team. And you play a team where you have to be on your toes for everything. And you have to perform the best you can at all times. And that means running out ground balls. And it means, making sure you're hitting the right cutoff guy. I think this is coming at a really good time before the All-Star break. And when you're getting maybe a couple players back. I think Harper's going to play tonight. I'm just holding on to hope. And, at a time when you're like, I don't want to say slumping because they won 8 of 11 before losing 2 of 3 to the Braves. But I just think it's a really good time to, hey, guys, really important series right here. Let's go. You feel the same way, Aim?
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked about that yesterday, and I think there was a thought process of like, well, if he's going to come back on Tuesday or Wednesday, why not just hold him out more? And I thought, well, no, you want him to get one. If he's ready, he's ready. But this is an important series. You mentioned the fact that it's the Dodgers. If you want to get right and kind of get a little bit of good mojo going your way, why not try to take a game or two against one of the best teams in the entire Major League Baseball? So it's like, I get the idea of maybe wanting to just take it easy, but if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. It doesn't matter what day it is. And I think the importance of trying to get a little bit better of a taste in your mouth. You just faced the Braves. You did win one, and obviously you were very shorthanded in that one, especially on the offensive front. But it would be really helpful to get some good mojo going their way, I think. And then they head into the A's series. We all know the A's are not a very good team. And so you get some good positive vibes going into that All-Star break. And he can get his sea legs under him, too. I think that's really important. I expect Schwarber, I think it's been reported that he's going to be back tonight. And we said it yesterday that Harper was out there taking balls at first base and running around. And I thought, well, I think that all signs point to him also coming back. But getting to face the best competition, what do they say? Iron sharpens iron. I mean, yeah. That's exactly what happens. Yeah,
I agree with you. And I don't know, does it bother you at all because it doesn't me? And it's different circumstances. We have to be honest here because I don't want to make it sound like if anybody would remember what I said before. I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. There have been times when Joel Embiid has been hurt and it was going into the All-Star break, and I have said, no, I don't want to chance him going into an All-Star game and playing and risking whatever injury he had at whatever time I was saying it, because I think it comes about just about every All-Star break. But in this circumstance, to me, this is my opinion, I don't care if Bryce Harper comes back, or if he's ready, as I said before. And I don't care if he goes out or down to Texas and plays in the All-Star game. That doesn't worry me. I don't know where you stand on it. Like, would you rather him? I don't know. What's your best case scenario with Bryce Harper?
I think the best case scenario is that he, gets out there. Obviously, the best case scenario is that he hits a home run and everything's like, that's just great. Everything's all great. But I think that it looks good, that his swing looks good, that his play at first base looks good, that the stretch, if he's trying to reach for a ball coming from third, looks good. Running looks good. That was the concern when you saw him trot up first base, and he was running all out, and that's why when he pulled up on the hammy, that's what that's what I think people are most concerned about. So the best case scenario is he hits a home run. He has a couple of good at-bats. He runs the bases well. And like I said, I want to see him stretch, maybe for a ball. And there is no, residual effect. That's really all that concerns me in this one. It's a hamstring injury. Those things can tend to linger. It looked bad at the time. Obviously, it wasn't as bad as we thought, considering this man heals quicker than anybody else we've ever seen. He comes back from, ACLs and all kinds, Tommy John's, whatever else he's ever had, Tommy John surgery, and he's, incredible. So that's the expectation. But for me, the hope is that everything, like I said, when he runs, if he has to run a ball out, whether it's to first or he's trying to score from first to home, as we've seen him do numerous times, that there is no hesitation. I think we saw that a little bit with Trey Turner when he first came back, and I don't think that we see it as much now, which I totally understand. But I think for Harper, you can't take that away from his game. He scores first to home as quick as anybody I've seen, and that's something I need to really see.
Ray, do you have any, hesitation about if he comes back, being okay with him going to the All-Star game, or hesitation of him coming back before the All-Star game at all?
No, and this is something that a year ago when they were bringing him back, and it was I think it was when he was going to play first, actually. I was like, whoa, how do we know that this guy, he came back from this injury faster than anyone else. Now we're going to put him at first base somewhere he hasn't played. I'm done doubting just about anything that has to do with him. I think
I like that.
He's made me look silly one too many times. I think at this
he's
point.
Not the only one.
Yeah, well, okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No,
yeah.
I'm being...
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, I got it. 4 hours we'll do this, Bob, all right? Amy's not here to protect you, okay?
Oh, like she ever does.
Sometimes.
I'm on an island. All I got is my Ball Wilson over here. I'm okay.
Stop it. But in terms of looking at Harper in this situation, yeah, I think he's maybe looked like a fool one too many times, and I think we've seen it one too many times with him coming back and just being a superhuman. He said he'd never felt the way he did with his hamstring, and I'm sure that for him was a scary moment. He's bored, okay? He's on TikTok now. The man wants to get back and play.
Yeah.
I'm ready to have him back and play.
I need both of you to finish this, because this is in my mind, and I think this is going to happen. Bryce Harper tonight, let's say he's playing. Bryce Harper tonight is...
That's the part we finished the sentence.
I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah, that's the part
Is...
If
You
Bryce
could say
Harper,
hitting third, playing first base.
homering.
You could say
yeah,
whatever you want.
Homering was my answer.
Okay, homering is fine.
I did not know where we were going with that, but
Here's-
I don't want to take Ray's. Ray said homering, so I'll say playing first base, hitting third.
Here's mine. Playing third base and DHing.
You think Bryce Harper's
Playing
going to play
third base
and
and DH in the same lineup?
Hitting third and DH playing third base.
I was like,
All right, Ray, mark it
breaking
down.
news.
10:19 on Tuesday.
Bob
Hitting
Cooney
third.
reporting
that one
and Bryce
down.
Harper's
He's like
coming
Bugs
back as
Bunny.
a third baseman.
Did you ever see that Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny
He
first base.
is a miracle worker.
Hitting
Totally amazing.
third, and DHing.
DHing. All right, I could see the DH.
I could totally see Rob Thompson doing it. Not that I'm going to love it.
Well, yeah, and I get it. So let's carry that through. You're putting Schwarber back out in left field?
No, I'm going to put Harper in left field too. So he's going to play third
I don't
base,
know where
first base.
I don't know
DH,
what's going on
and
right
left
now.
field.
You had him at third base. Now you've got him
All
in
right.
left. Who knows?
So-
Maybe he's a closer. Let's just get real.
So yeah, so this is why I don't like it. I really think he's going to DH him tonight. I am nervous now because you got Bohm at first, then you're going to put Sosa at third or whatever, and then you're going to do this and you're going to do that. I want him to come back and be at first base. I want to see as much of a normal, air quotes, lineup tonight as I can. I just am afraid that Rob Thompson won't do it.
But what are you going to do with Schwarbs?
Maybe you put him in left field, yeah.
I mean, that was where he got hurt.
No.
Do you really want to go down
No.
that path?
I don't know.
No.
I'm just like, I'm nervous about Rob Thompson and what he's going to do.
No, he's going to put Schwarber as the DH, and he's going to put Harper. If he's good to go, he's good to go.
That could also be the reason that we're not 100% sure about all
Correct.
of this. Schwarber coming back. It's like, all right, yeah, throw him at DH, and come on, what is he really as? He's been better as a runner this year, but like, come on, what is he really as a runner? Like, you're looking for him to come back and hit the first pitch in the second deck.
Yeah,
That's about what you're looking. Harper, the question is, and I think Amy mentioned this just a couple minutes ago, the stretch at first base and how he'll be moving around. You know, I'm begging today, if he does come back and you hit one into the gap, I know you want to extend it to a double. I know you want the showmanship. I know that's part of playing with you, but maybe just give me a little bit of hesitation on the first day back. All right? Because I will be the one that ends up hurt watching that happen.
Nah.
I'll end up. No, stop. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I won't be able to handle the pop.
But it doesn't matter if you handle it. It matters if he handles it. And if he needs to go full speed, he's got to go full speed.
Partially.
He's good to go. Yeah, I
Matters.
guess my DHing thing is totally out of the woodwork. I forgot about Schwarber having to play.
You forgot about leadoff man.
I forgot about a lot of things. I don't know.
You also
But
forgot
I am
Bryce
looking
Harper
for
doesn't
that.
play third.
Yeah, right. I'm looking for that normal lineup tonight, Aim. I want it to be Schwarber leading off. I want a Turner, Harper. I want Bomer back in the 4 spot. I want Stott at second base. I want Marsh in left field. Like, I want as close to normalcy as we can get in this series. Is that too much to ask?
Oh, no, it's not too much to ask. You're not going to get it, but it's not too much to ask.
All right. Well, we will see. All right. Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility today as they are having a media scrum, is the way we describe it, right, Amy?
Yes.
A media
it'll be
scrum.
A group effort.
A group effort. It's not going to be podiums. It's not going to be, guys with microphones. But they're basically just talking to the gathered media.
Mm-hmm.
But the great thing is, after they speak, we are hoping they were going to call the station or get on with us for our shows today. We're talking about Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Andre Drummond. So we're looking to have those guys today. We will keep you abreast about how it's going. It's kind of a fluid situation going on here. We have a lot more that we're going to talk about. Amy's with us today. Ray Dunn producing. I am Bob Cooney. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome back, 10:30 on this hot Tuesday. Hope you're staying cool, staying hydrated. 10 o'clock hour. It's brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Amy Fadul's down at the Sixers practice facility today, but she is joining us via the magic of our technician's work.
Yes.
Amy, though, you haven't been able to see Ray Dunn, I don't believe, yet today.
I have seen him because he sent you. Obviously, we send out our selfie, and I requested from Ray to take a selfie with you, and then I'll pair it with my selfie, and then we'll have our joint selfie. So I immediately responded back, and I said the jersey is fire, and it is fire. It's a fire jersey that he's wearing.
Yeah, I wonder what I like. As you know, I'm not that much of a jersey guy. I told you I could have watched games back in the day, written 2 stories on them. Been driving home 2 hours after the game, and somebody said to me, "What color uniform did the Sixers wear tonight?" I probably would have been wrong. But I don't like these jerseys. I don't like the black one. No, I don't.
I mean, I
feel
get
bad.
that it's not traditional because it really doesn't scream 76ers and they are the red, white, and blue. But I think for a lot of people, like that represents a really large reason or like a season that kind of they became fans or that they really became interested in the Sixers. It's like the Kelly Green. And honestly, I put it out there on social media because that was the clip I saw when they released the Tyrese Maxey video. And I was like, oh, my gosh, those would sell out faster than the Kelly Green. And that's saying something because the Kelly Green had people tailgating to buy them. But the black Sixer jerseys are just, they're people, we talked about it at work, like, are they iconic? I'm like, for some people, they are iconic. Like, that is their, when they close their eyes and they think of the Sixers, they think of Allen Iverson in that jersey. And I think that there's a reason behind that. Like, I think I like the black jersey. I've always liked black jerseys, though.
Yeah, see, that's weird because it was probably, I guess it was in like it was probably late 80s, 90s. Remember when teams weren't allowed to wear black sneakers and then all of a sudden it all came about?
It was in the Jordan movie, remember?
Right, exactly. So that all came about. I was like, okay, it took some getting used to. I was like, yeah, all right, I like the black sneakers. Then it wasn't too far after that where teams on their away jerseys were like, oh, we're going to wear black away jerseys too. And the Bulls did it and other teams did it. The Sixers obviously did it as Ray's wearing it now. I don't know why. I didn't love it. I didn't love other teams going to the black jerseys. I don't like – my favorite away Sixers jersey is the blue one that has PHILA across the front.
The greatest jersey that they've made is the city, whatever it was,
Spectrum?
with the Spectrum. It's bar none. That is like I bought 3 of those for Shawnee. I didn't even care. I was just like, here you go. Well, speaking of, there was a sale at the Wells Fargo Center. There was a certain jersey that was on sale for $10 yesterday.
A certain jersey, $10. Tobias Harris?
Yeah, an actual jersey, not just like a jersey, an actual jersey.
Which normally would be probably in the $80 range if he was still here.
I think it was like $79, $99, $85, $99.
You got it for $10?
I didn't buy it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I would like to know who's rushing out for that deal.
I was just saying, like, I looked past it and went, that's interesting. And then I went to go find something else.
All right, well, what's the rule on that?
You pray that there was somebody else named Harris?
Or no, you like, I'm not going to, if somebody walks around with a Holiday jersey or if somebody's walking around with another jersey of a guy that played for the Sixers that's still in the league.
Come on, Bob.
I think
Bob. No.
Wait. I didn't, what, is it, all right, if somebody goes to the Wells Fargo Center wearing a Sixers jersey, but it has Holiday on the back or something like that.
No, that's different. That's totally different. If they're wearing Ben Simmons, that would be a similar vibe. That person, you wonder, who's done you wrong?
So this is what I was getting to. Tobias Harris is on along the same line as a Ben Simmons than just any other player that used to play here?
He's closer to that spectrum than the Holiday spectrum.
Yes.
Well, Holiday, though, if you're looking for here, well, he didn't have a lot of time here. He was an all-star here one year.
Yeah, and he's a nice player.
Well, that's one more than Tobias got.
Yeah. Tobias had, he had decent years here.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same vitriol. It's a different vitriol. It's just like, it's just not good. The Simmons is just a really bad taste.
Yeah.
Really bad taste just because he just basically quit basketball. And you saw the potential. Tobias was just, an ill-fitting, ill-timed, didn't perform type of thing. And so you thought, well, that's not ideal. Like, people don't dislike him. I think they think he's a really good person because he is. I think he does a lot of really good things in the community. I was reading the article the other day. He and his brother are building houses for, affordable housing. Like, I think he's a really good person, but his performance on the basketball court did not match what people expected of him and his contract, and so therefore there's a lot of ill will for that part of him.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same level as Simmons, but it's just not a great jersey, I think. Like, you opened up, it's 2024, and you opened up your Christmas present or your birthday present, and there's a Tobias Harris jersey sitting in there. You'd be like, why do you not like me?
Well, the argument that has to be made is $10 is $10 compared to $80.
$10 is $10. Like I said, it was the real jersey. It wasn't. It was.
Yeah,
jerseys. Those were, I think, less. But
I
yes.
think I would call less of a violation on somebody.
All right. Well,
if I saw them paying $10.
Going on, I will go and get you one.
No, I don't do jerseys, as you.
Yeah, it sounds like he needs one. Yeah,
no,
he does.
I've never had a jersey in my life.
Well spent.
I never had a jersey with a player's name on it in my life.
Until tomorrow.
No, I'm good.
Please, I need this.
No,
It's happening.
No.
Yes,
let's make sure.
I'll pitch in $5 for it.
So
I bet I can bargain it down to $5.
Yeah, you're probably going to wind up getting paid for taking it. That's what it's going to come down to. So Ray and I are walking down to get coffee today, Aim. All right. And I said, Ray did his typical Monday thing, which is so cool. He meets up with a buddy every Monday, and they go and watch the game, whatever, at their establishment. And that's cool as heck. And I love that he does that. So I said, did you get a chance to watch any of the Sixers Summer League game last night? I said, because, I'm watching the game, and some of the things that Ricky Council and stuff was doing, I think you have a starter there. Obviously, tongue-in-cheek, all that. The look on Ray's face, Aim, when I said that, I almost wanted to act like I wanted to keep going with it because I saw I got a reaction out of it. So then I was going to turn serious and like, no, I'm serious. I think Ricky Council should be a starter on this team, blah, 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 blah. But I'll tell you what, and you and I look at it the same way, and I love the way you describe it. But there's a little something there that warrants keeping an eye on with Ricky Council. We'll talk about Jared McCain a little bit later, but he now has an NBA body. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that thin kid anymore. Like, he's grown into an NBA body. As I said, he was hitting threes last night. We can talk about competition. I understand that. Please, I'm not going overboard on this. But I know that in summer leagues, they're telling every player that's playing there, whether it's a Boeheim, whether it's a kid, who's never going to be in the league, if you see somebody lining up to shoot, run out on them and get your hands up in the air and even leave your feet if you have to. That's what they're told in summer league. Ricky Council IV last night was banging three-pointers with people doing that at him consistently. Like, I think he's warranting maybe maybe a bigger look. Like, Nick Nurse is sitting on the side last night. Here's my question to you, Aim. Nick Nurse is sitting on the side last night. He's seen more of Ricky Council than any of us combined. What do you think his thoughts were when he gets up and walks away? Is it, okay, that was impressive, no big deal, summer league, or good, this is what we need. Maybe this guy is part of some kind of a rotation?
I think it's the latter. I think they saw something in him last year when they converted his contract. I think that we all thought, like, oh, that meant that there was going to be some minutes for him come playoff time because the timing of when they converted his contract. And then it was a little bit disappointing, but I think then they realized maybe in the game plan it was just too much too soon. The matchup wasn't great against the Knicks. Maybe it was really more for like down the road, and then unfortunately they didn't get there. But I think it's going to be more of the latter in what you were describing. Of here's a guy that is shown athleticism, shown that he can play at the NBA level, and now he's taking it to the next kind of like ramp up for him, which is showing that he can do all the other little things that are part of being an NBA player. You mentioned obviously the body type and all that other stuff. There's a maturation process, not just with these guys in the game, but also with their physical nature, their mental nature, and how they have to take care of their bodies, physically and obviously nutritional and whatever else. I feel like he's taking those steps, and then when you see the way that he played, I would think it opened a lot of eyes. I think it opened, I would be surprised if Nick Nurse doesn't come away with that and think, all right, well, we need a good energy guy to come in, knock down some shots with people in your face. And I know that the level of competition and people are like, oh, it's just summer league. It is. But you have to remember these are guys that are grown men that have played usually professionally somewhere else, if not in the NBA already, and they're fighting for their livelihood. They're trying to make teams. They're trying to show that they can be NBA players. So I think that level of competition, though not at the same level as the NBA overall,
right,
does kind of garner a little bit more because everybody's out there trying to make a good first impression. And I thought, wow, like if this is what you look like on the first game, like I'm excited to see the rest of your games because of this. And I'm sure Nick Nurse had that conversation or has maybe in his head, like, all right, let's see game 2. Let's see game 5 of the summer league. Let's see this continue because it's all about consistency. But it was such a refreshing thing looking at, I even watched some of the highlights late last night after because they'd ripped a bunch off, and because Tyrese Maxey tweeted about it because I know those guys were locked in too, and I was like, yeah, this is a guy that's going to open up some eyes, and I think that's really all, as a guy that's going to be, whatever, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the roster sheet in, numeric order. I feel like that's what you have to do. You have to show that you can be a guy to come in and give it like 11 really strong minutes.
And look, maybe I'm not using last night as the barometer. And you had a little phrase that you said there. It's called little things. And there's so many little things that I look for in summer league. Like I remember back in the day watching a shooter for another team and sitting with an NBA scout while I was watching it, and the guy pump faked and then passed off, and this guy was labeled a terrific shooter, and he's like, I said, what's the matter? He goes, huge check mark there. Can't get a shot off quick enough. The guy closing out on him was 8 feet away. In the NBA, that guy's going to be even faster, and he still couldn't get it off there. That's a bad check mark on that. The guy's still in the league, but I saw it right away, and boom, it stuck with me forever. Little things. Like last night, Jared McCain, the Sixers, I think, turned the ball over, and he's getting back on defense. Didn't even look behind him. There was a guy going to the basket. He should have gone down to the lane and stopped the pass inside for the layup as opposed to staying out up on the wing because they already had help there. And, he just totally missed that. That's a case where you're like, a little thing. It's like those are the little things that you look for in summer league. So I'm not letting a 29-point night, 19 straight points. I think he had 6 3-pointers from a Ricky Council IV. No, it's not ruling my day. But it's little things that you look for that make you wonder. And as I said to you before, Eamon, I think we agreed on this, the Sixers need to hit on something. And maybe Ricky Council IV is that hit. Maybe he becomes the guy at some point during the season. Man, he's a real spark plug off the bench. He's a guy that can score you some quick points off the bench. So it's kind of something you're looking for. But I love the way you put it, Aim. It's little things.
It is little things because it's, everybody thinks you can just, oh, I'm really good at basketball, and then you just come to the league, and I'm also going to continue to be good at basketball. And you are. But if you don't raise your game in every aspect, and we saw that in the Knicks series talking about little things, and they turned into big things because the Sixers didn't do them as well as the Knicks did. The offensive rebounding, the going after the loose balls, and then when they would kind of lock in on some of those things, it was already too late. The Knicks played that style no matter what, and so when you have different aspects of the game, you have to really, and if you're trying to, I don't want to say fringe player, but if you're a guy that's trying to make good impressions so you can get minutes, you can get some run in the league, you have to do those little. I hate to go back to it, and I know we talked about him before. T.J. McConnell is a quintessential example of that. Talk about doing every little thing that you could, and look where he is in the league. I mean, he's continuing to thrive in that role. That is what he's known for, and he is a little things type of guy. Every little thing that you need done on the court, he's going to be your go-to guy, and that's what you need. Right,
exactly. And maybe that's starting to develop even more with Ricky Council IV. Just some fun stuff to keep an eye on. Him and Jared McCain, some great stuff that we can, watch in summer league games. All right, when we get back, first question I'm going to put out there to you today, 610-632-0975. Love to hear from you. How important is this series for you against the Dodgers for the Phillies? I'm not saying it's make or break, but to me it's important. I think it comes at a great time, right before the All-Star break. It comes at a time where the team's kind of ebbing and flowing a little bit. You're getting guys back from injuries. How important is it? Is this Dodgers series for you? 610-632-0975. Amy Fadul's here. I'm Bob Cooney. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome back. I want to thank you for joining us today on this muggy, hot Tuesday. Be careful out there. As I said earlier, I don't know, maybe an act of kindness if you see somebody that has to work outside. You know, throw them a Gatorade or something, give them something nice and cold, wet towel, something like that, because it is just dreadful out there. I have a buddy, Ray, a guy I played high school ball with, who has his own landscaping business. So he comes over and he does my lawn. He came over the other day, Friday it was, and Friday was a steamer. And, you know, he's a couple years, he's just 2 years younger than me. And I'm like, Brian, I don't know. And I used to landscape with him for many, many years. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how you do it, man. He goes, you just do it. And his shirt is just like dripping, soaking wet. But you just do it. So keep an eye out for anybody you see working outside today. You know, as I said, if you want to act of kindness, throw them a cold bottle of water, something like that. So a lot of highlights have been coming out. USA basketball team is doing some practicing, getting ready for the Paris Olympics. There's this number 11 on the team. He's the tallest guy on the team. Team picture was taken. I just saw highlights of that. Highlights of the team picture, but that's what it was. Highlights of the team
People
picture.
talk about Kevin Durant's height again.
Kevin Durant's just a little bit smaller than Joel Embiid.
I know. It's
Yeah.
my favorite thing. It's a cycle. We go through a news cycle
He's
here.
7 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question. Why? What do you? I don't.
Well, it used to be the thing that he would say he was 6'10", 6'11", and then I think it was
6'12".
no, it was like a couple years ago. They actually would measure these guys, and so everybody was very excited to hear what the actual measurements were for. And I think he came in at like 6'11" and 3/4. So I'm like, there's no way. He's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
He
He used to list himself as 6'10", and everybody looked at him like there's not a chance.
Yes, he is the one man in the world that has lied about his height in the opposite
In
direction.
the opposite way.
Yeah.
He's the one guy in the world that says, yeah, I'm actually shorter than I am.
I told you, walking in behind him into an arena, I think we were in Oklahoma City. I forget where it was. My head was at his belt. I mean, that's how long his legs are. The guy, yeah. But so there's highlights coming out. All right, I'll ask you two this first. Have you seen the picture, the team picture?
Yes.
Okay, well then I can't ask you that
I
question.
can't get enough of this. The whole Team USA, like the meet and greets, the pictures, the practices. I'm all in.
Although Cooper Flag is turning into a real story
no,
in this.
Incorrect.
I know, but I'm watching highlights of all of it, and then somebody broke it down into Joel Embiid. So I had to ask you guys, because there is somebody at this station, and maybe there's more than one somebody. I know that I've talked to one person that doesn't like that Joel Embiid is competing in these Olympics. I'm watching the highlights of him going and all, and I turn it off, and it comes into my head, and I'm like, wow, somebody's really worried about him playing there. When you guys watch highlights of Embiid playing against the greatest, with the greatest players in the world, does anything pop into your head specifically watching it? Like, is there a thought that's running through? And I'm going towards injury. Like, are you
No.
do you go that way at all?
Everything I think about it, every time I think about it, every time I see the pictures, like I said, I just can't get enough. It's all over social media. You could, access it however you want. I couldn't get enough of seeing Joel Embiid out there with the best. And every time I look at this team, I think, who in the world is beating this team? I can't. I know there's some good teams out there, but goodness gracious, I think this is amazing. I couldn't get over the fact that he's over there yucking it up with Anthony Edwards and high-fiving, LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And I thought, there's only good that's going to come of this. This is something he's wanted. I think it's amazing. I think it's something that's good, only a positive. I understand that he could get in. Okay. I mean, he could get injured checking the mailbox, but I feel like the level of competition that he is facing every day in these practices is incredible. And then at that, the world stage on the Olympics is also incredible. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's only a positive for him mentally, physically, every aspect.
I couldn't agree more. Ray, do you have any hesitations about him being there in the Olympics, playing with the best players?
No. I love seeing the highlights, of just like, I know they put together like the mix. I think the Sixers did put together the mix, like the first game or the first whatever showcase they were doing, scrimmage. And part of it to me is like, wow, look what it looks like when he's not carrying the load, when he's just able to kind of go out there. And obviously on one of these teams, like, he's going to be one of the best players on this team, but he's going to be surrounded by so much talent where it's not like, oh yeah, he's got to do everything. He's got to score 34. He's got to play, 38 minutes. No, he's just out there. He gets doubled. Oh, there's a nice little pass to Curry, who's going to make a layup there. So they start collapsing on him. Oh man, now he gives it up to Durant. Durant's going to bang a three. It's a lot. It's really nice to see just him kind of interact with all of these wonderful players, but also to see him on the floor with them and know that, all right, what he has to do for the 76ers and what he has to put his body through for the 76ers is not what he has to put his body through for this Olympics team.
And it comes down to, I brought this up before, like when I was a kid, our coaches always told us, during the summertime or wherever, go find the best competition to play against. Go find the best games to try to get yourself involved in, because it's only going to get you better. Would you rather Joel Embiid be at the local, gym playing against guys that, played some college ball? I'd rather him be among the best players in the world, which he is surrounded by, and not only getting his game better, but also gleaning something from those guys also. I think this is a huge advantage for him to be with these guys for a few weeks.
I understand that there's always going to be an injury concern for Joel Embiid. I get it. Check. Done. But the level of competition, I think there's also injury concerns for Steph Curry and for Devin Booker and Bam Adebayo. None of their teams want their players to get hurt, but I feel like because of the level of the competition is a lot different than when you're going against guys that are, trying to get ready and they used to play a little bit of college. It's totally different. If you go out and play at the YMCA, there's a better chance of you getting hurt because
Agree.
not everybody's playing at the same level as you are.
Totally
These guys
agree.
are. And so I think when you see that, I go back and I think the guys that come back from the NBA and then they play against some of the kids that maybe they went to high school or college with. That's when you can get hurt because they're just not at the same skill set as you. They're not at the same speed as you. These guys are. And to Ray's point, he's not having to play 38 minutes because everybody is just as good as he is. So I just think it's a win-win across the board.
Absolutely. It's how I viewed it before he went over there. It's how I view it now. No matter what happens, that will never change my mind. All right, when we get back, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility. Players are set to talk in a couple of minutes. Amy's going to go check that out. Mm-hmm. After they talk, we're hoping that they can come on board with us on these very airwaves. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's kind of a fluid situation. We have Kelly Oubre talking first. In some order, Caleb Martin and Andre Drummond also. So we'll figure it all out. When we get back, we'll let you know what's going on. But we hope to have 1, 2, maybe all 3 of those guys coming up. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. O'clock here on Middays. Just got word. Kelly Oubre is going to be the first one to speak at the media scrum. And then he's going to join us on these very airwaves. So probably about 10, 15 minutes, Kelly Oubre will be joining us here to talk about him being back. He's back. I have a couple questions in my mind that I think are a little bit interesting to him. Mike from Delran. I'm sorry. I couldn't get to you before the break. Mike, if you want to get back to us. Oh, Amy is back with us. Good hustle by you, Amy.
That's what I do. Well, it's really, I just kind of run over and I look over and see if Oubre's there, and then I can run back. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so the media scrum has not officially started yet.
Officially began yet.
We have to give the Sixers kudos for a couple of reasons. One, they've been great. You know, a lot of communication between me and them last night about trying to get things settled for today. We appreciate them and all they've done with us to get this going. Also, number two, and Ray will appreciate this more than anybody, they're pretty much always on time with their media scrums and press conferences, unlike another team in town.
Don't get me started, man.
I won't get me started, right?
I'm having a good day, Bob.
You are. You're having a great day, and so proud of you for it. So things are starting to come together now with the 76ers. And last night, as I said, we were watching the Summer League game, and there's Nick Nurse sitting on the sideline taking it all in. And you're seeing names that you don't recognize. The three big ones to me that you're watching, of course, you have the two rookies, and you have Ricky Council the fourth. Those are probably the three you're most interested in. And last night, they all gave us good reason to watch. I mean, they were kind of what you expected, and maybe even more so when Ricky Council goes off for 29 points. So that was a lot of fun to watch. But Aim, going back to the Phillies quickly here, because I put out the first question of the day, like, is this series important to you? What does it mean as far as importance? I deem it like I don't know how many series in a season. Say there's 80. No, that couldn't be right. Say there's like 60.
60-something.
Yeah, say 60 series in a season. As a manager, and you know, we all know this, you can't just another series, we're just going to play it the way we play it. And sometimes you have to put a little added importance on it. I would do that if I was Rob Thompson with this series. I would say, you know what, guys? Yeah, it's the middle of the season and all, but guess what? We're going towards the All-Star break. We're playing the next best team in the National League, a team we very well could face in the playoffs. Let's treat it as such. Let's look at it like that. Let's be on our toes as if it's Red October. I think I would present that to the team if I was Rob Thompson, just as a little extra giddy up. Would you disagree with that, or
no? I agree with that. The only thing is, I don't know that Rob Thompson needs to say it. I feel like now having Schwarber back, I think, for me, if I'm a player, like if Rob Thompson wants to say it, I think that's all well and good, and I think that he probably can read the room pretty well to know if his guys need to have a little extra reminder. But I think if I'm sitting there in that clubhouse and I look over and I see Kyle Schwarber's back, and then if I see Bryce Harper's back, that would tell me, like, okay, I knew it's the Dodgers, but they are putting a little bit more, importance on this series, or it's elevating the series just a little bit in my mind when I see my, two of the three main offensive players that have been out. Two of those guys are back for this series. I think that would say a lot to me, as much as, if not more, than if my manager came in the room and said, hey, I'm sure he is. Like, hey, guys, it's the Dodgers. Like, yep, check. We all know where the Dodgers are. These guys can say all they want. Like, they don't look at the standings, whatever else. Everybody knows where the Dodgers are. They know who the Dodgers are. They also know who the Dodgers have. They know, Shohei Ohtani and then the pitching and everything else. So I think that just seeing the reinforcements that are coming for this series, likely Schwarber tonight, and then if Harper is not tonight, maybe he comes at some point in the series. That, to me, like, I'd look around and be like, all right, boys, game on, because this is, we're going to have a little bit more of a regular lineup for this series because of that.
Could it go so far as to this? They're playing a game. They're playing Dodgers in the series. It's the seventh inning of a game. Phillies are up, 2-1. Dodgers have two lefties coming up. Could it be like playoff Rob Thompson, where he goes to the bullpen, he says, no, Alvarado, I'm not making you a closer tonight. I want to win this inning, so I'm going to have you pitch the seventh. And we're going to see maybe some things that it's like, oh, wow, Rob he's managing like he does in the playoffs. Do you think it could go as far as to that?
I don't know if it'll go as far as that. Maybe it depends on the scenario. Like you said, if it's 2-1 and it's the seventh inning, and they look at whoever's coming up for the Dodgers, and if it's the heart of their lineup, maybe that'll give him a little push to do that, because I think that there is a big boon that could be, kind of garnered from a win, a series win certainly, but just from beating this team, given everything that's going on with the way that the Phillies have been injured and having the guys come back. I think that would be a big boost for them. So in that scenario, I think maybe he could, but I don't think he'll manage the whole series that way. I think there could be a game or two where it comes up, he has a chance to really secure the win by going all out and making the moves about, all right, now we're doing lefty-righty switches and stuff like that for one innings to try to win this game, because I think of what it could mean for this team.
So, Ray, looking at this series, Dodgers, we all knew it was big. A lot of people, when the schedule came out, was like, okay, here's when the Dodgers come in. We know how good they're going to be. Shohei Ohtani, all of those things. That's there. Okay, it's there. The excitement is there, and nothing has failed from the beginning of the season. The Phillies are good. The Dodgers are good. Two best teams in the National League. It's all set. Do you carry it to another extreme, like, say, if you were a manager? Would you play off of that a little bit? I just know, having gone through 82-game seasons, and God, only as a guy covering it, but still, you're going through a grind. I know I would have to try to pump myself up and say, oh, okay, here's a 4 games on the road, and the excitement level has to be here, like, just to get myself going. Do you think, Rob, it would be a good idea of Rob Thompson to play it up more than it even is now?
Oh, I don't think.
Or just make it another series?
No, I don't think he should have to play this up. Like, I'll be honest with you, we talked about Bryce Harper hitting a home run in London. Like, he knows when the lights are brightest.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, you
didn't have to tell him.
TBS tonight, you got ESPN tomorrow, and by the end of this 3-game series, there's going to be some sweeping statements made about what you guys are nationally. Like, that's, to me, that's all you need. Schwarber walks back into that clubhouse with the uniform on and ready to go for tonight. All right, you see what kind of series this is. He's back. Harper's obviously pushing himself to be back for this one. I know when JT first spoke, he was, trying to get himself. He first thought, like, hey, man, maybe I could try and get myself ready to go for this series. It's not going to happen. But you look at the way they've kind of talked about this series before. I don't think it takes Rob Thompson going in there with some big rah-rah thing. I think Rob Thompson looks at this locker room and says, yeah, okay, this is the group of guys that came into this season determined. You wanted to prove something after last year.
Right.
This is the type of series where you prove something. And I think he should manage it in a way that reflects going out there to prove something like it's, like a postseason series. Because ultimately, maybe you don't want to, fire away every bullet you have in the chamber, but you want to at least send a little bit of a message of, hey, yeah, we've been at the top of this league the entire season so far. And that's not changing. We don't have any plans to change. You can go back to the West Coast disappointed.
Yeah, I am pumped for this series. I think it comes at a great time. I love that they only have one more series after this before the All-Star break. I think it's a time just to maybe look at it a little more importantly. You're right, Aim. They have such a locker room that knows. They know exactly who the opponent is. They know exactly, what it is. I don't know. I'm a little more hyped than I thought I would be, even though I was hyped at the beginning of the season, knowing when the Dodgers were going to be coming in. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It all starts tonight at 6:40. Also, Amy is down in Camden at the 76ers practice facility as Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Andre Drummond are all speaking today in a media scrum. And we're hoping to get all three, if possible, on air with us today. Now, Kelly Oubre is going to be the first to speak. Mm-hmm. After he's done speaking, he's going to go with Amy to where she is now and come on the air with us. So stay tuned for that. After Kelly Oubre does his media scrum, and Amy, I know you're going to have to run to that when he starts, so just feel free when you have to go. But he will be joining us after that, hopefully within the next 15, 20 minutes or so. In the meantime, let's get to Karate Mark on the cell. Mark, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Bobby, what's up, brother? How are you?
Doing great. How about you? How was your trip?
The trip was amazing. Despite the weather, if anybody likes fall for vacation, go to Europe. It's cold and rainy the whole time, no matter where you go, no matter what time of year. We were in pants and hoodies and coats, but at the time of my life was with my wife, my mom. We traveled cities all over Belgium and Luxembourg and, just Amsterdam. It was incredible.
Good for you. The videos and the pictures that you had on social media looked absolutely amazing.
Bro, we basically got Broad Street after like an Eagles, NFC victory championship. So Holland beat Turkey in the semifinals, and we're in Center City, Amsterdam, just hanging out with a billion locals, and it was bananas, bro. Meanwhile, we're getting just Sixers info all week, and I'm thrilled with everything Daryl's done. He's created a lot without really much to work with. And my question to you is, who's the point guard? Is Maxey our point guard? I'm watching Paul George, and he says, I'm coming to Philly to play with the center, Joel Embiid, and the point guard, Maxey. So is Maxey our point guard going forward? What do you think?
I wouldn't like to see that, Mark. I don't want to put that responsibility on him. At times, yes. Is he going to be your main ball handler? Yeah, that's okay. But it all goes back to, I would like to see another guard out there, somebody else that could handle the ball to be able to free up Tyrese Maxey, to be able to maybe get an outlet pass and look for Maxey on the run. You know, a guy like that. But let's not forget, when I was talking to Nick Nurse last year, one of the first questions I asked him, I said, I've been seeing a lot of Joel Embiid bringing the ball up the floor, or at that time, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, other guys bringing the ball up the floor. I said, Nick, what is the thinking there? And he said, yeah. He said, I'm glad you picked that up. My thinking is, if I see a mismatch, I want to go at it right away. How do you go at it right away? I give the guy the ball right away. So maybe a point guard in that essence isn't as important to a Nick Nurse as maybe it is to us. You know what I mean?
My God, Bob, you just broke that down incredible. I don't have any rebuttal against it. I guess the one thing I can add to it is if we do get that legit point guard, it takes the ball out of their hand that much less, and it kind of solidifies the top five, puts Oubre coming off the bench. I mean, I think we just got a lot of good problems right now with the Sixers, and I'm really okay with that.
I agree with you, and it's so good to have you back on American soil, buddy. Can't wait to see you, and tell the family we all said hello.
Go Philly. Love y'all.
All right, thanks. Love you too, Mark. Karate Mark. He travels almost, Ray, almost as much as you do.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. It's very difficult to keep up with my travel schedule, of course.
Yeah, maybe we should get you two together or something like that. I don't know how we're going to play that out.
Karate Mark and I trip? I don't know.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, he's a big Disney guy. He and his wife love the Disney. Or I should say, where do they go? They go to, where's the Harry Potter thing?
Universal.
Okay. See, we took the kids down to Florida a lot, but we just strictly stuck to, like the main parks there. We didn't go to Universal and stuff like that. But so if we seem a little distracted, we apologize. We got a lot going on. Amy is down at the practice facility. She has left us now to go to the media scrum to talk with Kelly Oubre. After he is done speaking to the media there, he's going to come up with Amy to where she is stationed, and we will be able to interview him on this very show. So we're looking forward to that. We're talking Phillies also with the big Dodgers series coming up. I say this a lot on the show and in life. You can't help how you feel. Ray, I am more pumped up for this Dodgers series than I ever thought I was going to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, Rob Thompson's a different person than Bob Cooney, as we know, and thank God he is because he's running the Phillies. But Rob Thompson's going to walk in even keel today. Like, I can almost bet as much money as I have in my pocket on that he will walk in even keel today and say, yeah, it's an important series. Yeah, it's the Dodgers. They're a great team, and we love to play against great teams because we want to see how good we are and how we stand up to them. Bob Cooney would probably be coming in with the legs shaking and going, hey, guys, we know it's the Dodgers. This is great, but let's not forget it. It's the Dodgers. Let's go. It doesn't need to be said in this locker room. You're right. Amy's right. Rob Thompson's right. I don't know what I want to see differently, but I want to be able to know that Rob Thompson and the players are as hyped as I am about this series. Kind of selfish, I guess.
A little selfish on your part, but
right.
I don't think they're not.
I'm a little kid.
I don't think they're not. Like, I don't know how you go into the series. And, like, obviously you're gonna, they're gonna tell you they're treating it like business. But if we've been sold that this team is
that's why
coming
I need to see it
with the business-like approach this year of trying to prove something after last year, here's an ultimate opportunity to prove it. Like, this is where you kind of send the statement. And I get it. Like, I think 2008, I go back, they got swept, I think, by the Dodgers in a 4-game set. I don't know if it was out there or something. Like, they had a bad series against the Dodgers team that they would end up seeing in the NLCS. Like, yes, when I come out of this 3-game set, am I going to be able to proclaim that someone's won the National League because of a 3-game set in Philadelphia?
Not. Right.
No.
Nor
but that's not the
lost
point. That's not the point. When I go through a marathon of 162 games, you better believe if I'm going to get a weekend against the A's, I'm going to enjoy the week series against the Dodgers. Like, sorry, one of these series has to mean something. Like, when we start talking about all these different games that they play and what does it mean, like, we just watched them lose 2 or 3 to the Braves. They didn't have Schwarber, they didn't have Harper, they didn't have Real Muto. They start Mercado on Sunday. Like, I'm sorry, you get to line up Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez against the Dodgers, and I'm not supposed to feel something? Oh, I'm feeling pumped up for this one. You should feel pumped up for this one. You should feel like you're going to get something out of this one. It's not going to be the end of the world if they lose the series, and it's not going to mean that they're going to the World Series if they win this series. But you certainly have to come into this with a little bit of expectations of, I'm watching the 2 best teams in the National League play, and that this series should tell me something. I want to take something out of this series. There's not a lot of series where I think I go into a baseball season saying I'm going to take something from it. I want to take something from this series. I look forward to taking something from this series.
You just exactly said what I feel better and said it better than I did. Like, that's exactly it. And how many times do I say to you, I always want to take something out of every game. Every game I want to take something out of. Whether you win by 40, lose by 40, whatever the sport is, I want to be able to take something out of it. You hit it right on the head, right? I want to take something out of this series. Now, I think your key piece is still missing. Like, we talk who's the MVP of this team, and we have fun with it, and, we like to talk about that stuff. But I think if we say who's your most key piece on this team because of offensively and defensively, it's probably JT Realmuto. And, I feel there's a huge disadvantage to the Phillies that in each of these 3 games you're going to have to catch one of 2 guys who are backups.
I also go back to the point of Mookie Betts, like, on the other side.
That's
like,
true. No,
you're without players and Betts. Like, I know everyone's excited to go down there and see Ohtani. Like, I'm kind of heartbroken over the fact that Betts is not playing. Like, Betts, to me, is one of the great stories of baseball where we've got a guy that's played all over the diamond. Like, the dude's now an all-star shortstop after he became an all-star second baseman, after he was an all-star outfielder. Like, how in the world he continues to do this? And his bat, like, Betts, to me, is one of the most exciting players to watch in baseball. So the fact that they're missing him on the other side, it's part of the reason why some sweeping statements that'll be made out of this series, like you're saying about Realmuto, probably not true on either side. Right. You're going to be different teams come postseason time.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, am I not going to get excited to watch these 2 teams line up?
You know what? I forgot to ask you. So you have 3 with the Dodgers, 3 with the A's, all at Citizens Bank Park. Is Ray Dunn catching the subway and going down?
I don't have tickets to a single game in this 6-game homestand.
You have to be kidding me.
I did. I had an opportunity Wednesday night that was part of the plan with the neighbors, and I was happy to relinquish.
Yeah, you have been
control.
doing a lot of things. And at some point, whether it's you or Joel Embiid, at some point, you have to look at the funds and say, you know what? I think I got to calm it down a little bit. Is that where you are?
That's kind of where we're at here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody has tickets they want to give it. What is the Phillies record when you attend games this year?
15-5.
15-5. That's
we're
not bad.
15-4 before the day game at Wrigley. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
A tough one to stomach. But, yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity for Wednesday, and I relinquished because I was like, you know what? It's probably better if I stay in the house and get some things done. I haven't been around the apartment.
No, you have not.
Yeah.
No.
It's probably better for me to stick around, stay home, and figure all that out.
Yeah. All right. Good man. Okay. Things are as I explained to you at the 11 o'clock hour, things are fluid. Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility. We were told Kelly Oubre was going to talk, and then Amy was going to grab him and come up. This is how quickly things change. Kelly Oubre now in the media scrum down at the Sixers practice facility. For some reason, unbeknownst to us, maybe even unbeknownst to some people down there, is on Zoom. So Kelly Oubre is not physically in Camden, it looks like. So the target now, from what we're being told for radio, is that Andre Drummond or Caleb Martin are going to be our new targets moving forward. So fluid as this goes, we will keep you abreast and be honest with you of what's going on. I'm being told as quickly as I'm telling you We will see what happens. But we're going to take a break now. When we get back, hopefully we have some more answers for you. More Phillies talk, more Sixers talk, more fun to be had. I'll throw some questions out there to you. You can reach out to us, 610-632-0975. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. as we get rid of an unwanted visitor here. Casey Boy from WMMR always stops down to say hello. He's the man. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet in life. But so to keep you updated, Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility. As we've told you, that's where she's been with us all day long. Kelly Oubre was scheduled to speak first in the media scrum. He was then going to go with Amy to a location and come on the air with us. Don't know what happened, but Kelly Oubre, instead of being live at the Sixers practice facility, did his media scrum via Zoom. It's all like a fluid thing. I'm in touch with the Sixers PR people. They're doing it their damnedest to help us out. They're in touch with us. So Andre Drummond, Caleb Martin, they are expected to be in person there. They, according to the Sixers, are our new targets to get here on the airwaves. So we are trying, and we are trying as best we can. So stick with us. Hopefully we'll get one or both of them. And we do have Amy Fadul back. Hi, Aim.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Here's a question for you. What just happened?
Yeah, so not entirely sure. I think the Sixers PR, they were definitely taken aback. Kudos to them for scrambling and trying to find a plan B. Kelly Oubre Zoomed us from his car. He wasn't driving the car. He was riding in the car. And so I don't know if he went. So how this usually works, these guys get their medical, the kind of evaluations, everything checks out, and then they come to speak with us. That's generally how this vibe goes. I don't know if he wasn't going to make it in time because the medical ran over, or he was, there was traffic. There is traffic. I know there's only one lane coming over on the Walt Whit. Not entirely sure, but he did Zoom with us. So he was live here in the facility via Zoom. But we did get to talk to him. It was actually really funny. One of the Sixers PR, Rob King, sets up his computer. And we all just kind of step in front of it and asked our question. It was like a deli line.
Yeah.
I was question number 3, so I had ticket number 3, and I got up there and got some buffalo chicken shaved nice and thin, and then I also got to ask Kelly Oubre a question.
So, Aim, I had some
questions. He was
questions.
very thoughtful, I will say.
Okay, so good. I want to hear from you what he had to say. So I'll ask you the questions that I had in my mind to ask him, and maybe they were answered by him, and if they weren't, I understand, and you'll tell us. But one of my first questions would have been, like, along the lines of why Philadelphia?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the first thing was, why did you come back here? And he answered that pretty thoughtfully. And then I asked him, he basically bet on himself last year with this one-year deal. He more than proved that he could be a winning player on a winning team, and that was the knock against him before. And I said, was there a consideration of going somewhere else that could have been, either more money or more years or whatever it is, like a better kind of offer? Why come back here to Philadelphia? And he said, he was, like I said, he was very thoughtful in his answers. He usually is. He's a very well thought out, when he gives very thoughtful answers, well thought out with his thought process and his comments. But he basically said, it was a good situation. He felt like he was working towards something when he was here. He said also, there was other offers, and he said multiple other offers that probably got him closer money-wise and to what he was aiming for, working for. But the situation here was, ideal. He also didn't like the idea of going somewhere for a little bit more money and then uprooting his entire family. He's comfortable here. And I think the real closing thing for me for his answer was this is where he fell in love with basketball again. I thought that was really strong because that shows you what he thinks of this situation, of this team, of this coaching staff, and his experience here, as he enjoyed it so much. And he said, I don't want to finish what started because I'm not done yet. I'm only 28, but I felt like I was working towards something, and I want to make sure I see that to fruition. I fell in love with basketball here in Philadelphia, and that's why I wanted to come back and stay here. So he did indeed turn down other offers that were probably more lucrative or maybe more years, but because of the way that he felt here in Philadelphia, that's why he chose to re-sign here for probably a little bit less than what he could have gotten on the real open market.
I would assume some of the questions aimed to Kelly Oubre also involved the new players that are coming in, the Paul George and all that stuff. So when he was asked about that, new teammates or anything, what was his response to them?
Yeah, so one of the first questions was about Paul George, and he said, to play, with a guy of that caliber is tremendous. it's one of those things that you always think about when you join, teams in the NBA. Who else is on? And he said, we obviously already have really good players, but to have a guy of that caliber. And then he mentioned the beef. Those guys obviously went head-to-head when they were in the West a number of years ago. And he's like, there is no beef. That's all obviously, stuff on the court. He's a competitor, and he just really looked forward to playing with him after seeing him, up close and going against him for all those years when they were out West. And then he also talked about Caleb Martin. He knows Cody Martin very well. Cody Martin is on the Hornets, since obviously that's where Kelly Oubre came from. But their relationship goes back to high school. He called himself the third Martin, the triplet of the Martin twins. They go back to when, for those who know high school basketball, there's certain programs that are very, very elite and high level, and they basically play what turns out to be a national championship. And Finlay Prep, which is where Kelly Oubre went, was playing Oak Hill Academy, which is where the Martin twins went, and the Martin twins beat him. And then basically what turned out to be the national championship in high school. And he said, I still owe him for that, but he said he has a tremendous amount of love. He's known those guys for a very long time. A little bit closer with Cody, but has known Caleb for a long time. Was just really looking forward to playing with him, considering their days go back, 10 years now. I think he's 28, and that goes back to their senior year in high school when he was at Finlay Prep and they were at Oak Hill. So he also mentioned Maxey, obviously not a new teammate, but specifically, was asked about him as well.
That's pretty cool. And as I've said to you many times, a lot of downtime sitting in an NBA locker room or in the gym at shoot around. When I didn't have my microphone on, so many of the stories would go back to high school, and it's your formative years. I think that's pretty cool. There was Oubre also asked about playing time aim or being a starter, or anything like that?
Not really. It wasn't even, I think it was a kind of alluded to with one of the questions, but it was really more of just getting back to work. Whatever role he's going to fill, he's happy to fill. I think that when you looked at his contract and the situation, I think that was kind of, implied in there, but no one asked him, do you expect to be a starter? It was really more of how do you see yourself fitting in with this team? I'm willing to do whatever this team needs. That's really kind of every answer was really more geared toward that. Okay, so you are sitting, I assume, above where the media scrum is? Okay. So you walk into the facility, remember, there's the glass kind of really nice lobby. They have a nice background, and then you go up the stairs, and that's where we are set up. So Mike Vito, basically today is being a production assistant, is just running back and forth. He's one of the side guys, we called him before. He's our side guy. Yeah. So he goes over and kind of gives me a thumbs up. And I actually got a text from my photographer down there saying, it's a Zoom. What do we do? And I was like, it's a what? So I run over. I was like, it's a Zoom. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he got in the car and he wasn't going to make it here in time. I'm not entirely sure because, like I said, there is traffic. Walt Whitman's, I know it down to one lane. I came over the Ben Franklin, but it could be something like that. And they want to get these guys in and out. And so I think that they pivoted as best they could. And it was just very funny to kind of walk over, when Paul Hudrick was done with his question, then I come up right behind him, here you go, here's taker number 3. Yes, hello, Mr. Computer Face. Yeah, so you're looking out to see when Caleb Martin or Andre Drummond will come to the... I believe Drummond should be next. Okay. Like I said, how this works is these guys get their physicals, and then, which I'm not entirely sure where that takes place. That's obviously above my pay grade. But they get the physicals, and then they come over and meet the media. And usually it's fairly quick. Again, I don't know exactly why he was in the car, but I assume it was some kind of traffic. He was just either wasn't going to get here, or there was some, I don't know, communication mix up. I'm not entirely sure, but I thought they did a nice job with it. Otherwise, the other alternative was no Kelly Oubre. Oh, no, yeah. Which is, obviously what it was. But yes, we're sitting there, and they're going to, they'll send out a link so everybody will see Kelly Oubre riding in his car later. Yeah, so he seems pretty happy to be back here, is what I'm gathering by what you said, right? Yeah, I think that was the overriding theme. The first couple of questions are all centering around, why return to Philadelphia? What were your other options? What do you think of the way the team is constructed now? And it was just... he always is a very positive guy. I think that anybody saw him on the post-game interviews, you would see that even when it was a down game, he tried to I think keep everything in perspective. I think that's something that's really good about Kelly Oubre. He really wanted to be here, and I think you saw that with the contract, like we talked about. He probably could have gotten somewhere closer to $10 million a year from somebody else, but he comes here for basically what turns out to be the mid-level exception, and I think that says a lot about what he views his place is here with the Sixers and how he views the Sixers as a whole. I think it's overall positive, and I think his experience here, I mean, saying that you fell in love with the game of basketball playing here in Philadelphia, and he talked about the fans and why he likes them so much. I think he really resonates with the fans, and I think they resonate with him. Here's a guy, like I mentioned earlier, like he basically bet on himself for 1 year. He could have re-signed with the Hornets on a 3-year deal. He said, no, I want to prove that I'm a winning player on a winning team. And he comes here and he plays with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, and he proves that he can be a very good third option, or in this case probably the fourth option going forward. On any given night, maybe he will be the third option. So I think that saying you fell in love with the game of basketball playing here in Philadelphia with the Sixers, I think says a lot about how he viewed his situation here.
And it's funny, of course, coming from Charlotte, a bad organization, a bad team, and all that, the obvious answer would be, of course he loves it here in Philadelphia. He was making money and averaging 20 points a game in Charlotte. A selfish person is, yeah, okay, I'm averaging 20, I'm making a lot of money. For him to say he didn't love the game when he was averaging 20 and probably making, I don't know what his contract deal was in Charlotte, but I would assume it was better than what it was his first year, and maybe even these 2 years. What did he sign for 2 years here, right?
2 years.
Yeah, probably better. Like that resonates with me. That resonates that he says, I didn't love it because I wasn't winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to win.
Here.
Yeah.
He said, I'm happy. I feel happy and safe. And I feel like that's really good. The contentment, and he did mention his family, and I think that's something that you do have to consider. And do you want to go to Detroit or Portland because they offered you more money and uproot your family again? I mean, no, probably not. If all things are equal, and in his mind, maybe $1 million or $2 million less is equal, given the fact that he doesn't have to uproot his family and his kids, and his wife and his kids, and that he knows the situation here. I think that you really have to look at it as apples to apples and things like that, no matter what the money being, if it is a little bit different.
It's pretty impressive how he has become a fan favorite. His play has a lot to do with it. I think his personality has even more to do with it. The battle that he got into at the end of a game last year, having his coaches back. Kelly Oubre seems pretty Philadelphian, and I think Philadelphia fans pick up more on that than anyone else. Thanks, Ray. He made $12.6 million in 2022 with Charlotte, and now he signed a 2-year deal where I think he's getting $8 million a year. Aim?
Yeah. It's like 7.89 or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's closer to 8, but yeah, it's right around there.
Dare we say maybe some things are more important than money sometimes? I don't know. All right, when we get back, Amy's down at the Sixers practice facility in Camden. So we still have Caleb Martin is going to speak down there. Andre Drummond. Sixers PR is going to try to get us one or both of those guys to come on air with us after they are done speaking. So we have that, more Phillies talk, a whole lot more here. Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. Noon hour here on Middays. Glad to have you with us. Hope you're having a good Tuesday as we are linked up with the Sixers down at their practice facility. Amy Fadul is down there. I don't hear her on the line with us now, so she very well might be in the media scrum with an Andre Drummond or a Caleb Martin as they are speaking today. Kelly Oubre was due to be at the media scrum down at the Sixers practice facility, and then we were going to try to get him on air. He, however, had to do it via Zoom to the gathered media down there, so we were unable to get him on air. It's such a fluid situation. The Sixers are doing a great job of communicating with us, trying to help us out to get now one of the two guys, or both of the guys, on the air. So we'll let you know how it plays out. But Amy is down there for us, and she's going to fill us in on everything that's going on. Jerome in Elkins Park, he wants to talk some Sixers. Jerome, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes, I do. I want to talk to Bob Cooney. First off,
Here
I
he
have
is.
to just turn. Oh, all right. Good talking to you. I want to just say I appreciate the fact that you, brought up the name of Ricky Council. One of the things I always like is, sir, if one of our teams, no matter who they are, is they find a player, that isn't the big splash or the big name, but shows something. And from what I've seen, like you said already, he's got an NBA body. Shows he has a drive to the basket. And one of the things that needed to know about was whether or not he could hit a consistent jump shot. And he just appears to be the type of person who, is willing to listen, work on his weaknesses per se, and bring something to the table.
Yeah, because, Jerome, if you look at all the teams that have been successful in the NBA championships, however you want to put it, there's a guy on their roster, at least a guy, maybe even more than one.
Right.
That was a hit. That was like, oh, wow, I didn't expect that from a 18th overall pick, an undrafted guy, a second-round pick, whatever the case may be. Maybe Ricky Council the Fourth is that.
Yeah, just looking at and just seeing, he says he has a solid head. Let me ask you something, Bob. I've been trying to find out about it. Pick up Andre Drummond, a number of good things. Didn't the Sixers, they make not call it a last move, but a power forward position, didn't they just give a latest deal to someone, or did I misheard? I heard that they got...
Caleb Martin, are you talking about?
I thought it was that one I was aware of.
Okay. No,
nobody else. Maybe I just misunderstood.
No, or maybe it's a hope in your head and it comes to fruition sometime, Jerome, right?
Could be. Hopefully there's thoughts going in that are good. But, yeah, I like the Martin pickup also.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully we get him on the air here in just a little while, so stay tuned for that, Jerome. Thanks so much for the call. Hope you have a great Tuesday. Look, we're not overplaying the Ricky Council stuff, so I'm glad we haven't seen anybody say that yet. Like, oh, my God, they're going crazy off of one summer league game. No, you're looking for little things. First thing I look for is, like, a guy walks onto the court, a guy goes up and down the floor a couple of times. I'm not looking at how he shoots, how he handles the ball. No, my first thing is, okay, does he look like he belongs in an NBA game? Like I said about Ricky Council the Fourth, he's got an NBA body now. Now he does. He looks like he belongs in an NBA game. Now you get into other little things. Is he running the floor properly? Does he know when to fan out or when to go to the basket when you're on a fast break? All these different things that you're looking for when you're playing a matchup zone. Is he, because the Sixers did play a lot of zone last night, is he picking up where he's supposed to go? There's a whole lot of things that you're looking at. And Jerome described it well. And I have been in many huddles of summer league games, sitting right behind teams. It doesn't have to be Sixers. I went to a ton of games that didn't even involve the Sixers, and I always tried to get right behind the bench because I wanted to pick up on things that way. They want to play these summer league games. They want to push these kids to limits they've never been pushed. They want these kids to get out on shooters. They don't care if they get beat off the dribble. They want to see the hustle of getting from a box down low out to the three-point line and getting a hand on a guy that's lining up a shot. It's hustle, hustle, hustle. What Ricky Council the Fourth did last night that impressed me a little bit was that when guys were running out at him, didn't change his shot. He took those open three-pointers, and he made an awful lot of them. I believe, I'm not looking at stats of game, but I believe I heard he was like 6 of 11 from three, something like that. That's the thing you're looking for. In any player, whatever it may be, you want to see something that says to you, okay, maybe that's a little bit of something. maybe that's something that you can say, all right, that belongs in an NBA game. I see that. I'm not looking any further into that. That's just exactly what I'm looking for. Jared McCain, he slowed down a Summer League game to his pace last night. I don't want to keep saying how many Summer League games I've seen. That's hard to do because it's go, 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 go until you can't go anymore. It's funny. When I was in Orlando for their Summer League, when you would see players walking the streets to go get a Starbucks or to go get, I don't know, something, ice cream, whatever, how sore they are during a Summer League because not only you have to remember, these guys aren't just playing games. They're practicing in the morning, like full practices, playing games. Sometimes they're playing games at 4 in the afternoon, then they have practice that night. They're pushing these kids as much as they can because it's not easy to have a job in the NBA, and they don't want these kids to think it is. So Jared McCain last night, I was kind of impressed the way he slowed the game down to his pace and then quickened it up when he had to. His change of pace was impressive to me last night. I always equate Summer League games to like obviously they're glorified pickup games with some kind of schematic thing. Schematic being, we're going to play 2-3 zone. Here's how you play it. Otherwise, pick up a man. There's not a lot to it, but you're looking for those little things. And last night, Jared McCain getting guys, on his back and slowing down his dribble, throwing an underhanded lob to Bona. Just little things like that. All right, good. I came out of last night like 2 thumbs up on the 3 guys that you're mainly looking at. Please don't mistake it that we're taking too much out of a Summer League game. It's just observations. That's all there is to it. But I don't know. Ricky Council IV, what were your plans for him going before Summer League started? Not that last night changed anything, but part of a rotation I would think would be the hope, right, Ray?
I don't know why they brought in this Paul George guy. You've got Ricky Council.
All right. Here we go.
No, I think part of what you saw from last night and the way I wanted to see it was basically, okay, if you are looking at a rotational player in the NBA in Summer League, they should stand out. They should be the one that, like, amongst the group, you should be able to watch the game and with no information. It's kind of awesome because I was sitting there with my roommate watching the first half of it, and it's like, okay, it'd be nice if there was just a graphic on the side here of everybody's number, trying to differentiate who's on the floor,
right.
Who you got. You should be able to, in a mindset like that of like, hey, who's out there on the floor, be able to point and say, that's the guy that's going to be in a rotation this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
And that to me, last night, I think you saw that with him, where it's like, okay, everyone on the floor is a certain level. This guy's just a notch above. These guys are fighting for jobs in the NBA. He's fighting for minutes in the NBA.
Right.
And I think that's a different level of just basketball playing. And I think you saw it from him last night. I love the confidence, too, from him. I love the confidence, just line up threes. I know he didn't make, I think, of his first couple, he might start 0 for 4, 1 for 4. It wasn't great. Then he ends up where he's having the night he does, and he takes the wild heat check of a 3 late in that game where I'm like, there's no reason in the world to take it, but you've made how many in a row at this point? Yeah,
right.
Go ahead, fire away.
Why not?
The energy's great from him. It's nice to see him confident shooting the basketball, and I think he just, again, you watch the game, you're like, okay, he's a level above a lot of those guys on the floor, which tells me, yeah, you hope that there's a rotation spot for him. No, am I banking out 20 minutes a game for him right now? No. Let's not get crazy over last night. But it's 29 points in the Summer League game to start the summer. Yeah, that's nice.
And it's funny. I saw him shooting a foul shot last night, and I'm looking again. I'm like, wow, his form isn't all that great. But, there's many guys in the NBA where you don't. Okay, should we go to it now? All right, we got Caleb Martin speaking to the media. We're going to go to it right now live.
To glue as much as I can to fill the gaps and try to get over that hump. It's always tough. It's the fans make it. When I think last time I was here, I think I gave the fans some chicken. So people ain't let me live that down yet. So I just the atmosphere and just how much they ride for their fans, and they'll let you hear it whenever you're playing bad too. So I like the fact that that type of pressure is good pressure. So I'm excited.
Obviously, you've done a lot of great things in Miami. The final run and everything else. What type of experience of that can you bring here to a team that really has had trouble getting that round through recently? I
think just kind of what you said, just kind of bringing a little bit of experience and being able to get to the finals, and not too many people know how obviously the route is to get there, and I don't even know myself the route to get through that. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how to get there and find a way to get over that hump with a new group of guys. So I think we all got the same mindset and the same goal at hand right now.
You may not realize it, but your personality or your kind of the way you play kind of fits with the city. Like you guard bigger players and kind of underdog. Do you think this is a right location for you? And how do you think the personality's going to figure it, given that you've had some experience with the fans?
Yeah, I definitely do. Just kind of like you said, it's just the feel you get from the fans is, it's just kind of hard-nosed, like, blue collar player, scrappy, just kind of do whatever you can, and that's what this kind of crowd environment feeds off of, and I think I'm that type of player that can definitely get the crowd going, making plays like that, and just try to make as many winning plays as I can, and just embrace everything that comes with it. So I'm excited.
Your stats are markedly better in postseason in a lot of respects than during the regular season. Why?
I think that's just one thing I feel like I've done most of my life is, when there's a certain level of play that needs to happen and, everybody's level needs to rise, I feel like I fit into that kind of into that category, and I feel like I've done that the last couple of years, and I feel like that's what I'll be able to do here with a group of guys that's this talented, and I think surrounding myself with guys like that every day is going to make me better as a player, and I think just overall to be able to contribute to the game.
Caleb, what exactly happened with Miami and their contract offer? It seems like you could have signed for a lot more money had you stayed there.
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
I mean, just certain things didn't work. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that went on, but ultimately there's a lot in making that decision, and there's a lot that contributed to how everything went. But past is past. Can't do nothing about that, and I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to being here and being a part of Philly, and try to bring everything I can in order to try to win the championship. So that's my main focus now.
So that's new 76er Caleb Martin talking to the media down at the Sixers practice facility. We hope to get these things are moving quickly here. We're hoping to get Caleb Martin when we get back from the break on these very airwaves. Also, still to talk is Andre Drummond. When we get back, all that and a whole lot more. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. here on Middays as we have Amy Fadul down at the 76ers practice facility in Camden, New Jersey. We are working. You just heard a little bit of Caleb Martin speaking. We're hoping to get him on these airwaves in just a couple of minutes, trying to work that out with the Sixers right now. So we will get that done. Some interesting things he had to say, and we have more to ask him about that. Real quick, we'll go to Stan in Drexel Hill. Stan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Stan?
Yo, what's going on, Bob?
How you doing, buddy?
So, real quick, I just wanted to say, man, I was kind of impressed by what I saw from Jared McCain. Ricky Council, I think, can take a step. Not the Tyrese Maxey leap, but I definitely think he can take a step in the right direction and maybe possibly crack that rotation. If he, with him, his athleticism and the energy was always there. It's always a matter about perimeter shooting. He hit 5 threes last night. If he shows growth and improvement, I think, I like seeing him in the rotation down the line in the season. But Jared McCain and Adem Bona, I think two players that they need to look at to kind of try to mirror their type of play style is Malcolm Brogdon and Bam Adebayo, right? And I say to myself, Jared McCain, he already has that thing with he plays like an older point guard already, right? Like I saw him slowing it up and changing pace and everything like that. And you don't see too many young point guards have that in their repertoire coming out, And I know going to Duke and playing for Coach K did that for him, but it's one of those things where I think if he can look at a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, I think he can have himself a great career going forward. And then you'll feel good about having a backcourt maybe with him and Maxey down the line. And then the Adem Bona, if he can just get himself a little midi, I think that kid's athleticism, his motor. I like the Sixers drafting, man. I got to give him credit for that, man.
Yeah, really for 16th in the second round, I agree with you, Stan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe those guys are guys that can crack a kind of rotation. Stan, thanks so much for the call. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that would be great. If you can get these guys in a 9-man rotation, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. We'll see how it has to play out. Where are we with this now? I just heard a voice on the other end. So, Amy, you back with us? Okay, we'll get Amy. I think Amy's setting up Caleb Martin to be on these airwaves in just a minute.
We're here.
Oh, hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, we're here. Caleb and I are here.
Oh, very good. Caleb, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Caleb,
Caleb White. It's not Barry White. It's Caleb Martin.
Yeah, there kind of is that tone, isn't there?
Yeah.
Have you had singing in your background?
None at all.
No? You can join us on these airwaves whenever you want. But, Caleb, the first question I wanted to ask you was, Philadelphia, you can ask an athlete when they come here and say, oh, why'd you come here? In the back of your mind as a reporter, as a guy on the radio, in the back of my mind I say, well, because they gave him a boatload of money. You came here, it appears, for different reasons, and you are being applauded for it. What is the most exciting thing about coming here to play for the Philadelphia 76ers, Caleb?
I just think I think being a part of something special that they're building here. I think, the last couple of years I've had a decent amount of winning experience, and I think I would love to try to bring that type of energy and approach to this team, which they've already have, and I just think that they're just trying to build more on that. So I just want to be part of the winning process here.
It's interesting. The first question was, why to come here? And his answer was, why not? Like,
Yeah.
of course. and it's just, of course it's why not. But it's funny. You talked about obviously you've gone against the Sixers for a number of years, and you know what they're trying to build here. How much was that a draw when you see all the moves they had? In fact, they had basically a clean slate, a blank roster, really, and then now they're building it, and you were one of the key pieces. What does that tell you?
First, it just makes me grateful and appreciative that they see me as a piece that can help them try to get to where they're going, and ultimately that's a championship. But also just being a guy who's recently been to the finals, I also understand that of how long that road is and how tough that road is, and it's about taking it a step at a time, and that starts before we even start training camp, and I just. But again, like you said, is like just being a part of something special and being a part of that winning culture and being a part of something that's bigger than yourself. is something that's that definitely wants to draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to Caleb Martin down at the 76ers practice facility, joining us live. And Caleb, you come here to Philadelphia, and if I had 2 envelopes here, and I said, Caleb, this envelope has 25 to 30 minutes a night as a starter, and this envelope has 25 to 30 minutes a night as a reserve. Does it? You say you're happy to be a piece here. Does that matter to you?
No, starting or coming off the bench doesn't matter. I think with me, it's more obviously, like you said, is getting the minutes, and I like to pride myself on finishing games, just in terms of, being in when it matters, and when it matters down the stretch, and when games are on the line, and when he stops or whatever it is, I like to be a guy that can be relied on. So, but obviously that's those are things I got to build trust through training camp with a new team and new staff, and I understand that's going to be that's the part where you kind of have to re-identify yourself and build that trust back up with a new group. So I'm going to pride myself on trying to be in those situations as much as possible.
It's a new team, but one of your teammates. I know you know a couple of these guys, but Kelly Oubre, your days go back to when he was at Finley Prep. And you were at Oak Hill with your brother. I saw your brother's here with you. You got some of your fam. And he says he still owes you for Oak Hill beating Finley Prep in the championship. But he also called himself the triplet, the third Martin twin triplet. I mean, you guys obviously have a good relationship. I know he knows Cody a bit better, but how reassuring is it to already have a little bit of a familiar face?
No, it's definitely reassuring. It's a good feeling to know that you're coming in, just not on your own, and to have somebody who kind of knows you and know how you operate, and just with me knowing how Kelly operates and what he's about, it's always good to have someone like that on your side coming into a new situation. So I'm excited to play with the triplet.
The triplet, I love it. The triplet.
So Caleb, when you come to a new team, and you're a free agent out there, so the world's kind of wide open. Obviously, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. We know the makeup, Paul George here in Philadelphia. But what are some of the other things maybe that were important to you in the decision that you made? Like, what were some of the things you maybe looked into that we don't know about that helped you in this decision?
I think, a big piece of, and I felt that even, when I was in Miami, just coming to play here, is just the environment, just the atmosphere of, the fans and the way the city backs their teams, and and just the type of good pressure it is to play well in a city like this. I think is a privilege, to be able to be under that type of, I would say, pressure, but it's a good type of pressure, and it's a fun type of pressure, and I think that only raises your level of play and attitude and approach to the game. So that it did really excite me to be able to be a part of something like this at a time like this.
You've been in the East, so you've seen Nick Nurse when he was with the Raptors. You saw him with the Sixers. How much was he a draw?
Huge. That's part of the reason what drew me to Miami, with Spo, and then now here with Nick, and just seeing his style and seeing his history, his winning history, and just seeing how he relates to players and how players are drawn to him. And I just think that he's definitely a type of players coach, type of style that that gave me confidence in being here, and it just seems like a type of guy that you want to play for.
It's weird we haven't even talked about Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's busy right now.
Yeah, I heard he's all right.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So Caleb, you come to this new team. For the fans here that saw you as an opponent, and then when you left, they forget about you. That's the way we are here in Philadelphia. Describe your game. Describe how you think your game is going to be, or flourish, I should say, with these new teammates that you have.
I think what I bring to the game is what I can do every night. It's not always predicated on scoring or anything like that. I think I'm a by any means necessary type of player. So some nights it'll be more offense, some nights it'll be, I think every night it'll be defense. But some nights more than others would be offense. But I just think kind of just injecting the group with that energy and that spark, whether it's starting or off the bench, or just whatever kind of that we need in the moments. I think that I can bring to this team, and a more experienced version of that just from the last couple of years of me, being in Miami. So I think I just being an impactful player.
How different is it to walk out, you think, wearing a Sixers uniform in that arena as opposed to wearing a Heat uniform.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy.
You know
It's
how
gonna
the
be,
fans are.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a good feeling, and it's gonna be a different feeling, but it's an exciting new chapter for me, and this is one of the biggest transitions I've had so far in my career. So, I'm just trying to embrace it and enjoy it, and it's a lot at the same time. But I'm trying to, I'm gonna have as much fun as I can with it.
Caleb, we'll just have a couple more for you before we let you go. One of the things I wanted to ask him for our listeners to know, and we're talking to new Sixer Caleb Martin. What do you do now? Like Joel is with the USA team, and people are scattered on this team. You have the summer leagues and all going on. What do you do now to more familiarize yourself with this organization?
I do my research. I'm talking to the players. I'm talking to the coaches. I'm up here as of right now just trying to get a better feel, of the environment, of the facility, of the city. But, I also just think relaxing myself is most important coming into a new situation, knowing that there's going to be a lot of things rolling really fast coming up shortly. So I just think that just taking that time and kind of using the calm before the storm and before everything gets ramped up. So while doing my research, so just trying to get more familiar with everybody.
You mentioned the research. Like, how much do you look at Sixers from last year? Obviously, it's a different team, but the two big pieces in Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid are still there. And now you add in Paul George. Do you try to look at it as like, where am I going to fit in?
Mm-hmm.
How can I help? Or what role will I be able to carve out? Like, tell me how you kind of look at that process.
I definitely think a little bit of everything you just said. I think I look at the play style. I look at guys' individual games, like, more of, what their, tendencies are, what side of the floor they like to be on. I've already kind of started looking at more just kind of full games to see the pace of how guys play and even seeing the second unit, how they operate. So I'm just kind of just getting bits and pieces of everything as much as I can. And that's one thing I'll definitely be doing in my free time right now, is just watching and learning as much as I can.
And you mentioned pace. You saw Tyrese Maxey when he first got here.
Yeah.
And then each year get better and better, most improved player last year. Talk about pace. I mean, here's a guy that absolutely is a blur half the time.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to be like playing with a guy like that?
I'm gonna love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a runner. You know what I mean? So with a guy like that's that fast with the ball, he's gonna hit, those two guys and now including PG, they draw so much attention. I should have a field day. You know what I mean? Like I like to think they're gonna make it's kind of hard to believe that my looks won't be easier. You know what I mean? And so that's one thing obviously I'm excited about too. But just be able to figure out to play with those guys and just have fun. I think it's very exciting, and I'm glad I get to be front row.
Caleb, I will leave you with this. A statement that was given to me by Marcus Morris when he was with the Sixers last season. He said one of the hardest things he ever did was play against Joel Embiid. And one of the easiest things to do in the NBA is to be on the court with Joel Embiid as a teammate. So we'll leave you with that happy thought in your mind about playing with the big guy. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm on this side.
Yeah.
That's right.
On this side now.
Caleb, listen, we really appreciate you joining us. Don't forget us. We're here every day, 10 to 2. We're the flagship station. You ever want to join us, we'd love to have you. Welcome to Philadelphia.
I appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate
All right. Thanks so much. Caleb Martin joining us for a couple of minutes here down at the Sixers practice facility. Amy, great job. Mike Vito, great job. They're down there for us getting all this together. And Ray, reaction. Caleb Martin. I'll tell you what. I'll give you mine first. Here's a guy that has no his vision isn't blurred, as to say, of what he is coming to a team that has Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and I think he's really excited for it.
I think he's really excited for it. Just the idea of him sitting there already watching the tape of what he's going to have to do to play alongside these guys, talking about watching tape of the second unit. I think he's pretty fired up for what he's going to get. And he mentioned, and it was something that I said yesterday about just him as a shooter and where he's fit in with his role in his team. He thinks he's going to have a field day. He thinks he's watching, they're going to have to deal with Maxey's speed. They're going to have to deal with Embiid and just his pure dominance. Oh, now they got Paul George. Yeah, I'm cool to hang out here. I'll take my role as it is, and I'll have the field day that I can because of all the attention that's on everybody else. I think he's pretty fired up to be here.
I'll find my spots.
Yeah.
I remember talking, and I can't remember who it was, but talking to a guy and saying, it shouldn't be that hard for me. And I forget who the player was. He's like, to score 16 or 20 a game. He says you're talking about like getting a layup and a jump shot each quarter, and then maybe getting fouled a couple of times. And then if I do that, and the way they played it out, it's like, boom, there's an easy save. Because I don't have to demand anything. I should just be able to get that. And it was a secondary player on a team, on one of the Sixers teams. And the way he laid it out, I was like, wow, that doesn't seem like a lot. You know, you get 2 baskets a quarter in a 12-minute quarter, you know, it doesn't seem like a whole lot. So he might be along that group. And like we said before, Ray, anybody that's joining this team, a Caleb Martin, anybody, their game is going to be better simply because they're stepping on a court with the aforementioned Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George.
Of course. And I think he realizes that his excitement, I think right there talking to the end about when you gave him Marcus Morris conversation of like, yeah, it's just so much easier to play with Embiid. Yeah, I'm happy to be on this side. He's happy to be on this side. I love, and this is kind of one of those things where, you ace the intro presser, talking about the pressure of playing in a city like this and that he enjoys it. It's the right type of pressure. It's a fun type of pressure. I think for people who are not totally familiar with the game of Caleb Martin, this is the mold of a player that this city will get behind pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he said it's not that every night I'm going out and looking to score. It's what that game needs from me this night. I don't know about you. I get as excited about a player, a professional player saying that, than a guy like, as much so as a guy like Joel Embiid saying, yeah, I got to go out and score 35. What Caleb Martin said that he has to do, that excites me just as much because you need that just as much.
Be the best at your role. That's what that is. And I think he totally understands that. I really like the answer to the conversation about what his role is. I want my minutes, but wherever my minutes come, the most important thing to me is closing out the game and finishing out and being a part of us winning. Like that, to me, is the ultimate way to answer that question coming in here as we still continue to work through, hey, what's the rotation going to look like? What is this team's starting lineup going to look like? You give me my 25 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to be a part of finishing games and making sure that we secure the wins. And you mentioned just building the trust. Like that's something that he did get $8 million to come here. He did get a 4-year contract. He has shown you in the postseason that he could deliver in big moments, and yet his mentality is, yeah, I got to come in here and earn the trust of this team. He's one of the acquisitions this offseason that a lot of people are looking forward to. I mean, you read the tweets, you read the text messages we get, the YouTube comments. For a lot of people, this signing was the one that was like, whoa, I didn't think this one was even possible for us, and it got people really fired up, and he's coming in here like, yeah, I got to earn the trust. This is something that's not going to be given to me, even though I've got this contract, even though I've got this type of, I would say, known commodity. Like he's kind of respected in the league for what he does.
Right.
He still has to come in. He still feels like he has something to come in here and earn, and that's pretty great to see.
And there's so much that goes into these signings that maybe some people don't realize. Like, I remember when Brett Brown got here, he was given the task of building a practice facility. Now, I don't mean the design or whatever, but he was part of a state-of-the-art practice facility in San Antonio. When he came here, Sam Hinkie, the ownership's vision was to build a new practice facility. What amenities did they need? And Brett Brown was like, look, you need to have these guys be able to get in there whenever they want. A chef there all the time so they can eat properly. There was different hydration bars, all of these things. And I remember Brett pulling me aside one time and said, hey, you mind if we talk? And he said, can you tell me some of the towns around here, around the city, that I could show to new players coming in where they may want to live, where they want to have their families be. And him going around and looking at these different, cities, the Haddonfields and all of that, to see places that the players might go. So there's a lot that goes into it. That's why that was one of my questions to Caleb. Like, what exactly were you looking for? And it was Philadelphia. He was just looking for Philadelphia, and it's a great signing by by Daryl Morey, it appears to be. Hey, the 12 o'clock hour, it's brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. All right, when we get back, Amy is still down there. Andre Drummond is going to speak to the collected media down there. We hopefully will try to get Andre Drummond on these airways also. We will talk more Phillies, more Sixers, all that, a whole lot more. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. 6:30 here on Middays. Tyrone and I just did a full show in about 5 minutes.
I missed it.
Talking Sixers. It was funny. Oh, yeah, you weren't? Yeah, that sucks.
I'm not. I'm here
because it's always the three of us. But, yeah, we were talking Sixers Summer League. And Tyrone views it just like the two of us, Aim. Little things. It's little things. You don't overreact to a 29 points from Ricky Council. No, it's not that. It's how he handled himself to get that. And did he get the shot off in time? And did he pass up open shots because he's not quick enough to get off a shot? And did he take advantage of such and such? And then we were talking Jared McCain and the change of pace that he has that makes a non-fast guy maybe look faster, or not the quickest of guys look even quicker because of the change of pace and stuff there. So, Aim, if we don't make Caleb Martin a part of our everyday show, there's something wrong with us.
Right? I was just talking to our side guy here, Mike Vito. He's just our side guy.
Yeah. Not just our side guy. He's our main side guy.
He's our main side guy.
Yeah.
If there ever were a thing, that would be him. But it was interesting, in the scrum, because you're kind of in the back and there's a big group of people. I could not tell how deep his voice was and how good his, how thoughtful his answers were. And then he comes up here and I'm like, whoa. I told Eric Chambliss and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this guy is great. We have to have him on all the time. He was very thoughtful with his answers, I thought. And he answered everything. The very first question was, why here? And he's, why not? And it was just like, of course, why not? And then he obviously gave a much more thoughtful answer on that. But I thought he was no surprise, I guess. He's a guy that's been in the league. He's played at some really great stops. And I think obviously being in Miami has helped him really kind of, I don't know, maybe illuminate the reasons why he would make decisions. I think that the culture down there really does tend to lend itself to guys becoming a little bit more mindful about where they see themselves in the game. And I think that helped. I know it sounds weird. I think that might have actually helped him. One of the reasons he would come here. He said it. Things work out in a certain way, and this is a really good situation for him.
Yeah, there wasn't an answer there that had me shaking my head, that had me thinking, wait, what does that mean? No, he seems very solid in the decisions of why he came here and the way he envisions himself fitting on this team. And I loved his answer. I said it to Ray when you were off air. I said, I love the fact that he said, I'm not looking at every game like I have to score this many points or whatever. I'm going to look at each game individually and see, okay, how do I help the team best in this game? So it goes against the opponent, whether it's a defending type of role, whether it's, maybe it is a scoring type of role. Maybe he is getting out on a break. But he sees his role as going to be changing all the time.
And I think that that's really good when he looked at the opportunities, and there's no doubt that he had other opportunities. I know there's the report about the Heat, and he spoke a little bit about that when he was down in the scrum, and I'm sure there was other opportunities out there. I think when he looked at what the makeup was here, a guy that, he talked about, he said, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to look at how the first team is. I'm going to look at the second team. And it's not looking at the second team because he just is curious. He realizes that might be his role on any given night. Maybe they're going to do a matchup thing. Maybe he will come off the bench for certain games. And I think, one, his willingness to do so is a big, key into his mindset of being successful here. And two, his willingness to do so says a lot about where he sees his role with the Sixers. He is willing to do whatever it takes, and if it is sometimes to come off the bench or it is sometimes to take a back seat, all right, we don't need you to do this much on offense tonight. It's more about the defensive matchup for you. A guy that's willing to take on whatever. I feel like when he was talking, it reminded me of Kelly Oubre at this time last year when we talked with him at Media Day. Here was a guy willing to do whatever it took, and then you saw how that paid off for him. I think Caleb Martin will be a very similar vibe here.
It's funny how this team, in my mind, has become I don't want to say the word fun, but
oh, it's fun.
It is fun, but I mean, it's more of a, wow, these guys really are looking forward to playing together. And Paul George has said all the right things. And look, we can argue all that. Look, Paul George went where the money was. Okay, fine. He seems really happy to be coming here in Philadelphia. He's probably really happy that he's getting paid a boatload of money, too. I'm not going to deny that. But he said all the right things about Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey so far. Joel Embiid asked about, hey, was your patience running out a little bit? And he's like, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was, but now it's not. And we know how joyous Tyrese Maxey is. And now we talk to Caleb Martin saying all the right things. It's easy for players to say all the right things when they come to a new city, new team, all of that. But these guys are believable to me, and I've seen a lot of athletes come into a city. It just seems like something a little bit different, don't you think, Aim?
Yeah, it seems different, and it was one of those things where it was funny, the first day of free agency, like, is anybody going to come here? Now it's like, oh, apparently everybody's going to come here. I think that it's hard for us to look at it in a way that I don't want to say not positive, just because we're used to thinking like the negative way, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just feel like we just think like, oh, it's not usually like this, and when is the other shoe going to drop type of vibe. And now hearing everybody, they always are going to say the right things, but I think they really genuinely believe them. I think there's a lot of belief in this team. I think there's a lot of positive, kind of vibes out there about this team. So when you're seeing the moves, it's not just because we're insulated here in Philadelphia that we're excited about them. It's kind of a national thing. There was a bunch of people that are talking about what Philadelphia is doing. You turn on the television and they're talking about what Philadelphia is doing. They're talking about what Nick Nurse can do with this team. They're talking about how the pieces are going to work. And the players, they watch the same TV. They listen to the same radio. They're seeing all of these comments, and they're feeling it too. And I think it kind of, you heard him say, it kind of validates a little bit that everybody else is kind of, also on the upswing with the way that the Sixers are going. They feel it. They are experiencing it too. And I think it's one of the reasons these guys want to come here.
What do you think his role is going to be? Now, we've done this, like, is it a starting five? But now that we've talked to him a little bit, you were in the scrum, so you heard a little bit more from him than we did. What do you think the role is? Do you think it's defined? Do you think it's a wait and see type of thing? Do you think it changes every night?
I think it changes. I think it's going to change. I think that there will be a certain definition to it, but I think the definition really could be, our plug and play guy depending on the matchup. I think early on you will see him play in a starter type role, but I thought you asked that question to him and he said the most important answer for me is something that I've heard guys say in the past, and some of them really, have hammered it home and then they show it, is playing at the end of the game. For a lot of guys, like, the starting thing isn't as big of a deal. If you're playing starter minutes and you're finishing the game, that says more about you tipping it up, when Joel Embiid's at the center line. Like, that, to me, that says a lot about where his mindset is. So I think that it will be defined in the fact that he is going to be the plug and play guy. All right, there's going to be nights here that we don't know if you're going to be able to start this game, but we know that you're going to be able to finish this game. And that's, to me, if I'm a player sitting in a locker room, that says to me something much more important. I don't know at this point in his career that Caleb really cares that he is out there when Joel Embiid's tipping it up. He does care if he's in there at the end of the game, and I think that that's the most important. So the definition of his role, I think, will be, it's kind of a TBD. I think that he will see starting time, and I do think he will see starting minutes. I think most importantly, he will be in to finish a lot of. I kind of equate it to like a DeAnthony Melton type of vibe. There was times where you started him, but really, most importantly, you needed him out there at crux of the game, whether it was the right before halftime to make sure that you secured whatever defensive kind of pressure, stem any momentum going from the other team, and then you saw him at the end of the games. That's the kind of vibe that I get from what I see from the outside looking in on what Caleb Martin will do.
Yeah, it was funny when he brought up the looking at the first team and the second team thing. So, your mind starts racing as ours always do. And it's like, who? Did he talk to Nick Nurse? And Nick Nurse said, yeah, you're going to be a starter, but you're also going to be that guy that plays a lot of minutes with the second unit. So I want you to keep an eye on that. Or is it a case he talked to Nick Nurse and Nick Nurse said, no, you're going to be my main guy off the bench, but you're also going to get some times with the first unit as needed. Like, I wonder if that conversation has been had. I would lean towards no. That they haven't gotten that
as well.
Okay, that they haven't gotten that deep into it. Because, you first of all, this roster isn't filled out yet, right? And second of all, I think you want to see everybody and how they play together.
I mean, I think that, we asked him about Nick Nurse, and his you guys couldn't see him, but his face really lit up. And his face lit up a number of times talking about his new teammates, Kelly Oubre specifically, Tyrese Maxey, obviously, a guy watching him go up. But when I asked him about Nick Nurse, he really was like, yes, it's absolutely a draw to come here. And he mentioned because of playing for a coach like Eric Spoelstra, another highly regarded, highly successful coach who has a championship under his belt. We all know what everybody around the league thinks of Eric Spoelstra. And to see him kind of equate that in his mind of like, hey, listen, if I'm not going to play for a coach that I think of the world of and respect a lot, I'm going to go to another coach that has a similar vibe. I don't think that they probably had that conversation given, the fact that it's probably only been a phone call or two between the two of them. But I am, and to your point that the roster's not done yet, but I imagine it'll be a continuing conversation when they all do kind of regroup and meet back up training camp and then going forward from there about, defined roles, if there are defined roles, or if it's going to be, listen, there's 3 people we know are going to be on the court every single game at the start of it. It's your job to see if you're going to be the one that joins them or you're going to be one of the one that finishes them. I think that would be the kind of message I would expect.
Exactly. All right, so just to update listeners out there, Andre Drummond is going to be in front of the media down there at the Sixers practice facility where Amy is in Camden around 1 o'clock. We were told 1-ish. So he will talk to the media scrum then. Amy will go down and listen, and then hopefully, and I have full trust in Amy unless somebody blockades her from it, Amy will grab, that's right, Amy will grab and force Andre Drummond up to sit with her.
Right up the steps.
That's right, and he will join us after the 1 o'clock hour. So, Amy, great work by you today. We really appreciate all the hustle, and I hope you are marking your steps down there today and build this company accordingly for your steps. But I want to tell everybody right now the Fanatic Deal of the Week, Artillery Brewing. That's right. Check out the Fanatic Deal of the Week. Get a $50 gift card to Artillery Brewing in Drexel Hill and Westchester for just $25. Experience the spirit of the American Revolution at Artillery Brewing, where history meets exceptional craft beer. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. All right, when we get back, we'll take your calls. What do you think about Caleb Martin and what he had to say? And Amy also filled us in on what Kelly Oubre said. Andre Drummond coming up a little bit later. Where do you stand on the Sixers? One of our YouTubers family in the YouTube says, who's going to start over Caleb Martin? I don't know. Maybe nobody. Maybe somebody. Maybe they get 2 pieces to fill in with the big 3 that allow you to have Kelly Oubre and maybe a Caleb Martin coming off the bench. Or maybe Caleb Martin is your starter. I don't know. I don't have the answer to the question. I don't know if many do either. Or maybe you do. If you want to tell us, 610-632-0975. Give us a call or throw us a text and we'll read it on air. Let us know what you're thinking. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. It's happening again. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's a bird outside of that studio. I'm going to lose my mind.
No birds, Ray. We're talking about a Fan Fest 2024 ticket raid. That's right. It's going to happen on Tuesday, July 23rd. 97.5 The Fanatic Fan Fest 2024 with FanDuel. Saturday, September 28th at Xfinity Live. You can get your tickets during our next online ticket raid, Tuesday, July 23rd at 9 a.m. at 975thefanatic.com. It's the biggest party of the year for Philly sports fans. All of the Fanatic personnel are going to be there. That's right. We're talking hosts, producers, side guys, all of those people. We're all going to be there. Celebrity guests, Philly sports legends. There's going to be activities, games, prizes. So much fun. It is such a great day. 975thefanatic.com. It has all the info. And Ray, you are wearing, I guess we can call it a throwback Sixers jersey, right?
It's a throwback.
An iconic throwback. It is a black Sixers jersey. The fifth caller, it's a black Sixers jersey. The fifth caller that can tell whose jersey Ray is wearing wins a pair of FanFest tickets. Now, it's a 2001 jersey. There is a certain player on that team who was pretty good. Ray is wearing his name and number on his back. Who is it? Fifth caller at 215-263-0975 wins a pair of FanFest tickets and gets to wear Ray's jersey if you so choose. So they had a little thing on AIM. I wanted to get you in on this. They had a little thing on the morning show today where Salciunas said something along the lines of, you know, when he buys new clothes, you always throw them in the washer first before he wears them. Well, Kincade had a banana about it. Like, what? Are you crazy? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And I was like, I do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it too, AIM?
I mean, if someone else has tried it on, like, why wouldn't you just wash your clothes before you? No. I'm going to go ahead and wash them.
Now, I'm not going to put anybody down that says, no, I don't do that. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
I do. Every piece of clothing that I buy, my wife will tell you, I try it, I snip off the things, throw it in the wash, boom, let's go. I never wear something before I wash it.
The only thing I can think of is like when you were a kid and you would go buy new shoes and your mom would like just wear those out because your other shoes were just a disaster. And you put your old shoes in the box.
And you have protection with shoes with your socks.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's not.
Yeah, no. Like I'm not like a germ freak. I'm not a germaphobe. But if I bought something new, like a new dress, especially if I'm at a place where other people are trying it on, not that I think other people have cooties, I would prefer it be cleaned for me.
Yeah, that makes it my own. Like, that makes it my pair of jeans and my shirt. When I wash it and then put it on, then it's mine. I can't imagine grabbing something off of a hanger, a pair of jeans or whatever, and not throwing them in the washing machine.
Well, you're going to do it with the new Tobias Harris jersey. You're going to put that right on when I give it to you. Yes,
I've never worn a jersey that had somebody's name on it. No, you didn't do that. You're not going to do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't feel right if you did do that.
It would feel right. Ray's going to back me up on this one. It feels too right.
Okay, if you say so. Is he pitching in $250 for you to be able to do it?
I'll bargain with him. I'll see what I can get the price of it down. I'm telling you, it's a legit jersey, so I'm pretty stoked about it. I will stop by the Wells Fargo Center and see if there's some that are on there.
Bob's Tobias Harris jersey?
I can beg you, please do not do that, because maybe there is somebody out there that really does want that jersey.
There were plenty on the rack.
It's a collector's item,
Maybe
Bob.
there's plenty of people that want them. And this has nothing to do with Tobias Harris.
It isn't. It's just an old jersey from a former. They do this every time. You go to like the
Carson
TJ
Wentz.
Maxx. There's Carson Wentz jerseys everywhere. It's nothing to do with the player. Tobias Harris is a very nice guy, but it's just funny that they're sitting there. And I was like, there's going to be a lot of Carson Wentz. I see those all the time. Shady McCoy jerseys. You always see those.
There's a question that's been thrown out here a couple of times now on our YouTube page, and I wanted to ask you too because I'm bad at. Do we usually get Phillies lineup before we're out of the show at 2:00? Because I know a lot of times I'll hear it on the best show ever.
I feel like it's usually like at 3:00.
Okay.
3:30.
Okay, yeah. It's usually because I know the times that I covered the Phillies, when you walk into the press box, it's posted there. usually around, you're right, around 3 o'clock, like right before the manager would speak in the dugout. So, because a lot of people are anxious to see.
I feel like Topper talks around like 5:15, so it usually comes out.
But doesn't he do the dugout like in the middle? Don't they still do that, like around 3:30ish or so? Doesn't he talk in the
I feel like
dugout
it's
or
later
no?
than that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Maybe it's closer to 4, but I feel like right before he speaks is when you see the lineup. So the lineup maybe is 3:15 and he's 3:45.
Okay, yeah, that probably sounds more right. Tyree Nicholson, he is our winner of FanFest tickets. So Tyree, can't wait to see you out at FanFest. Aim, I can't, like, as much as we talk about the show and phone calls back and forth trying to set things up to get things done for the show between the two of us, I, honest to God, am the thought of when I think of you at FanFest is one of my more happier thoughts that is in my head right now.
That's so nice.
Because I know your personality. I've known you for so long. I know. I can't wait to see how much fun you're going to have at FanFest.
I'm excited to experience it. I mean, it's been spoken of so highly, not just by you, by a lot of people. So I'm very excited. Even when I know Karate Mark has even mentioned it a couple times. Even when we were out at the Brian Dawkins event, I believe someone said that, like, how much fun it's going to be. It
was Brian Dawkins, yeah, because he's been at it before. He knows how much fun it is. Yeah, it was Brian Dawkins.
Sure.
And you better be ready because they meaning the people that put FanFest together, dip into your athletic abilities. Because in the last 2 years, I have lost a game of horse to Shady McCoy, who took it so seriously, like I had to tell him, dude, you can't dunk. Like, I can't emulate that shot, so please don't dunk.
I mean, if he can dunk, that's part of the game.
That's a good,
you have to match it.
Amy, don't take his side just for taking his side.
That's not taking my side. That's the game.
That's the game.
You signed up for the game.
I didn't sign up. I was signed up for the game.
You played the game.
Okay.
Shady McCoy is playing to
he was
win
nice enough
the
to
game.
say, okay, Bob, I won't dunk. Then he proceeded to dunk after he beat me. And then last year, Tyrone was in goal, and we had a soccer shootout, 5 shots, me against Scotty Hartnell. And Hartnell beat me like 3-2 or 4-3, something like that. So, Amy, I might have to push my fading athletic abilities at this point in my life. I'll be nice and say to you. So if they ask me to sign up for something, I very well might say, why don't you ask Amy?
Yeah, because it's a golf thing. No.
Nah, you could do some things. Come on.
I'm sure.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe I'll try to score a soccer goal.
Yeah, so this vibe that is around the 76ers, and you know me, and I described it to our listeners also. Okay, you make a big move, my head turns, what's the next one? Because you still have rosters to fill out, spots to fill out. But I can't help but feel a really good vibe besides just the signings, now talking to these players and listening to Joel Embiid and seeing what they did for Tyrese Maxey. I don't know. There's like a change in the vibe, and it's almost as if the organization was aware that a vibe needed to have changing.
I mean, we think about this time last year. Think about how that season ended in 2023, and then just there was some turmoil with the whole James Harden thing, but even just beyond that, just the last game, how that entire series with the Celtics ended 2 years ago now, and then there was just not a lot of juice surrounding the Sixers team because there was the unanswered question about what they're going to do with James Harden. How's that going to plan out? You knew something was coming just because of how that season ended, but there wasn't any kind of good mojo. And then I think that, you could not be aware of it. If you're wondering if the Sixers were, I think you couldn't avoid the feeling of just, it wasn't even apathy. It was just kind of like almost disdain. It was just like, really, like that's how it ended. And like, oh, nothing's going to happen this offseason. So they're just going to run it. And so I think going into this year, it's such a 180 from that feeling. There is a lot of excitement, given the fact that they had the entire roster to basically fill out. And I know there was some trepidation surrounding that because you have an entire roster to fill out. But looking to see where Joel Embiid was, and then looking to see what Tyrese Maxey did, and then then when the Paul George thing happened, you're like, oh, okay, all right, now I'm starting to see some stuff. This looks really good. The ball was rolling in such a positive way, and then it seemed like it just kept getting better with each signing. Andre Drummond was the first chip to kind of fall, and was like, of course, this is the perfect fit The best backup that Joel Embiid's ever had, he's now back in the mix. Kelly Oubre, he's back in the mix. Oh, they went out and got Caleb Martin, who is a tremendous two-way player. Done. And now we're doing. So I think you saw some things going, and I think that it just kind of kept on spinning. The only thing that's going to stop it is, something negative, and you just can't imagine what would go on to be negative. Every move they've made has been in such a positive way that there's only been positive momentum going forward. Now adding on another player, then you're looking around about how they do that. Is it going to be something we talked about yesterday with the balloon payment to KJ Martin to turn that into a player? Is it going to be veteran minimums, to help fill this thing out? Probably a combination thereof. But I feel like there is definitely, a concerted kind of, I don't want to say effort, but I feel like there is a concerted kind of energy that's going into a positive way surrounding the team that is just so different from this time last year.
It's a great way of putting it. And you mentioned Andre Drummond. He's going to be talking down at the Sixers practice facility where Amy is. He's going to talk to the gathered media down there, and then Amy's going to grab him, bring him on these airwaves, hopefully around 1:15-ish. So we ask you to stay tuned for that. When we get back, big series, Dodgers coming into town. We'll talk some more Phillies baseball, that, a whole lot more. Amy Fadul's here with us. I'm Bob Cooney. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Clock hour here on the midday shows. We take you into the best show ever with Tyrone, with Ricky. I don't know where we are with this third person. There's just so much tension. I think I'm okay with her right now, so I will say, and also producing that fine show, Silvana. Now, yesterday I mentioned that, so something about Silvana, and Ricky went by the glass multiple times and showed me that I was number one. I guess he doesn't like that I bring up that Silvana has kind of created a little bit of an atmosphere here, but it appears to be between her and Ray, so I am going to leave it there, between you and Silvana. Don't know what's going on. A lot of accusations going back and forth.
That's just, stepped over a line on that one.
Is there a time where it's forgiven?
Yeah,
okay.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Did she apologize?
No.
I think an apology is in order.
Yeah.
You don't touch somebody else's computer.
It's fine.
Okay.
That also started problems with me and Ricky because, I became an idiot.
You were a big man. You apologized.
That was my fault.
Yes.
Again, I wear that one.
Yes, and you apologize. So sometimes an apology is needed. Silvana, we're here for, another 50 minutes or so. Plenty of time. Come in, say sorry to Ray.
No, it's all right. We could just talk about the Phillies.
Yeah, we can. And that's what we will do. Now, just to give you an update, Andre Drummond is talking to the gathered media down at the Sixers practice facility. Once he has done that, Amy will grab him, take him up to her spot down there at the Sixers practice facility, and he will join us. We're thinking probably in the round 115-ish. So new/old 76er Andre Drummond will be joining us. So the reason I asked you and Amy before, Ray, what time Phillies lineup usually comes out was because one of our YouTubers, and I didn't check it, and I don't know if they're kidding or not, said that the Las Vegas line is suggesting that Bryce Harper is back in the lineup.
Yeah, I saw a sports book I think had Harper props rolling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. This is fun. Your first three hitters tonight for the Phillies very well could be Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. That's fun.
That is.
That begins the fun that we've been having all summer long that has been taken away from us due to injuries of late. I think some of it I blame on myself in that I said a few weeks ago that I just wanted to be things the way they were. And I didn't mind having Rojas and Marsh hitting, not in that order, hitting 8th and 9th and playing left and center field because I thought the rest of the lineup was fine, that your 8 and 9 hole hitters were what they are. Look, Brandon Marsh, to me, we can talk about the lefties, and obviously the management, the organization isn't happy with the way he's hitting lefties, and the numbers suggested and all. I'm of the guy's hitting between 260, 270. For an 8-hole hitter, that's fine with me. I really don't care if it's 100 against lefties and 300 against righties. I want a 25-year-old to be in there every day and play. Now, I understand that they're probably going to go out and try to get a bopping left fielder, right-handed bat. So when you are platooning, it's not with the likes of a Whit Merrifield or David Dahl, guys like that. I think that they want to go out and get a bopping left fielder. Okay, if you're going to go lefty, righty, and left field, fine. That's fine with me. But everything else is fine. Everything else, 1 through 7 is great. And Nick Castellanos sitting 7th, great. That's a fine lineup for me. And then you go 8 and 9, left fielder, center fielder. I'm okay with that. And I said that a couple weeks ago, and then boom, injuries happened, and now we're seeing way too many at-bats for the likes of Christian Pache and Dahl, and, some people will say Whit Merrifield also. I think he's coming around a little bit, Ray. Look, his numbers aren't going to be what you wanted this year because of the slow start. I don't know, stealing some bases, going 1 for 3 here and there, not the big hits. I don't think he had 1 extra base hit maybe all season long or something crazy like that.
Can't tell you the last time. I was literally going back there to look, and I can't tell you the last time he had an extra base hit. He's hit 4 doubles this season. We haven't seen one of those since May.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he hit a double recently, and they said it's the first one.
June 8th would be the last time he had an extra base hit, which would make it over a month at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice he's had some hits recently. That's cool.
Hey, I'm not dying on Whit Merrifield Hill. I'm not doing that.
No, I understand. I've this experience has been enough for me at this point. I understand that he's making $8 million, and they want to try and see their investment through. This feels like a Didi situation to me.
I don't know. I'd keep him around simply because third base, second base, outfield.
Sosa could play the infield positions, and if you're going out there and getting another outfielder at the deadline,
that's a good point.
Where hey, in 2022 when they won the pennant, everybody that played a game for that team got a ring. So hey, Whit, they go do what they need to do. You'll get yours in the mail. All right? Maybe we'll consider inviting you to the reunion. I'm sorry. I'm done with this experience. This experience has kind of run its course with me.
Okay, so we're that way. Those exact words, you and I are the same on two different people.
Oh, no, also with the other guy, too, because I think that whatever outfielder they get probably replaces him, too.
Okay, so Pache, goodbye yesterday. Sorry, not a major league hitter in my estimation. Goodbye. We already have a great defensive outfielder. Don't need another one. I'm good. As far as who goes down when these guys, Harper and Schwarber, get recalled?
Well, now that is a great question.
Yeah.
Is it finally time to pull the plug on the Pache experience? Or are you going to just... Yeah. If you really think Rojas isn't... And I think this was Scott Lauber, I think it was yesterday on the Best Show Ever saying this, but if you really think that this is time for Rojas to be the center fielder, hey, man, leave him up here. Let him stay up here.
Let it go. He's a 9-hole hitter. I'm fine with it. Great fielder. Let it go. Right?
Yeah. No, I'm done. I'm done at this point. If you think he's going to be up here, you think he's going to be a viable option for you at some point, come postseason time or come towards the end of the season, let it roll at this point. I can't. Sorry. I think I know what Pache is at this point. I understand Rojas. There's things they want him to work on. They, want him to go down there and get work done. But if he was going to be an everyday player when he was up here, then let's just have him be the everyday player, have him be the nine-hole hitter, and let's figure it out from there. I'm sorry. I'm done with the Pache experience.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry at all. All right. I want to read this statement that I wrote out to you. Are we okay? What's the thumbs up?
We've got Amy and Oubre.
Oh, very good. Are they on? Amy, you there?
Yes, Andre and I have been enjoying your Christian Pache hate.
It's not hate. And
okay,
Andre, please, there's never an athlete I hate. There's not a person I hate. I just don't think he's ready to be here. But we are welcoming new/old 76er Andre Drummond. I don't mean old by age. I mean used to play here before, too. Yes, so, Andre, welcome back to Philadelphia. How are things going?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. That is very
I wish you guys could see his face right now. That is he has smiled from the instant he walked in. I can't say the athletes usually smile when they see media. Not the case with Andre Drummond. Smiling the entire time.
Well, when you're the media, Amy, there's usually smiles. But
maybe.
So, Andre, that leads to my first question. Why the smile? Why Philadelphia? What is so good to be back here for a player like you?
I mean, naturally, I'm just a happy person as is, and it's always good to see familiar faces. When you go somewhere and you build relationships with people, it's always good to see them again and know that the relationship is genuine and that the feeling is always genuine. So happy to be back here. Happy to put on a Sixers jersey again. Should have been in the Sixers jersey despite, what happened in the past. But, things happen for a reason, and here we are again. So very happy to be here.
One thing I know you've talked about, your rebounding rate, it's bar none. Best rebounder in the league, has been that case for a long time. Will probably go down as one of the best rebounders probably ever. Sixers could have used some rebounding in the Knicks series. I know you saw it. We all saw it. Got to be number one on the list, I think, of one of the reasons that people are like, who do I know? I know who we need. A guy that averages almost 19 rebounds per 36. That's the guy we need. That has to give you a good feeling.
Definitely. I've managed to be around this long and do the same thing repeatedly. I do it consistently, and everybody needs a rebounder. Like I said, I set out to be the best from my rookie year because obviously there's other things. There's scorers, there's guys that block shots, steals, field goal percentage. And for me, rebounding is not sexy, but it's needed. Mm-hmm. And that's a position and a spot on the floor that is always going to be needed. So I think that's why I've made it so long. I think that's why teams are still trying to go after me.
Oh, yeah, because you had other offers out there. But coming back here to Philadelphia, why was that kind of one of the top reasons for you to come back here?
I felt like unfinished business here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a really good team when I was here, and we could have did something very special. And I felt like I needed to see what an entire year would look like here in Philadelphia. And obviously playing with Joel, Paul coming here too. We have Caleb Martin coming here. Re-signing Kelly Oubre. I mean, we have a great core. Signing Tyrese again too. We have a great core group that can do something special for the next, not just this year, but the next years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Andre, it's funny when you were a rookie. All right, you're drafted. Your very first summer league game in Orlando. Yeah. I'm sitting courtside, okay, and I was with a member of the personnel of Detroit, and I'm like, "What are you expecting out of him?" And I swear to God, he turns to me and he says, "Watch this kid rebound." And there was talk about getting you in NBA shape and all that stuff. But he said, watch this kid rebound. And I watched you for the rest of that summer league, and it was like, oh, my God. But I want to ask you, what is your rebounding philosophy? Because, as you said, there's like a want for people to do it. You're not bigger than everybody else. You're not faster than everybody else. But you have to have some kind of a philosophy, I would guess.
It's really just feel. I read the rim. Really, okay, I'll be honest. So what I do is, like, wherever team I play for, whoever I play with, like, you'll catch me. Like, I'll sit there and watch certain players shoot, and I'll see what their misses look like. And that's how I really learned how to rebound for teams that I play for, because after practice, I'll sit down because guys like to shoot after practice. So I'll sit down. I'll sit in the corner where no one's paying attention. I'll just watch what kind of shots they shoot, okay? If he shoots a three, it's either going long or it's a soft miss, or it goes off right or goes off left more often. And it gets real strategical, too. Like, it's still a lot more in-depth than what I'm giving you, but that's, like, the surface level of how I've gotten so good at it. Because I pay attention to who I'm playing with.
There has to be great footwork with you then, because I imagine, all right,
I'm always moving, too.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So nobody can plant on you and keep you away. And then as the ball goes in the air, if you're on the strong side and you're like, oh, that's short, I got to get over there. Like
I get there.
Oh, you get there because you're in constant movement.
Correct.
Okay.
Most important part I took away from that is he's watching his teammates, meaning those are offensive rebounds. Most important thing.
Somebody gets it.
That's the most important fact right there. He can watch the other team all he wants. He'll get those rebounds. He's watching how his teammates miss so he can get the offensive rebounds.
Correct.
If you had an equate like the most powerful, the most, the worth more, it's an offensive rebound, right? Because it's a second.
Demoralizing.
Yeah.
It ruins the whole possession, because once you think you got to stop, and then we get the ball again, now we got to do it again.
You get it again. You get it again. You talked about you still have a relationship with Joel Embiid, and I think you probably have that with a couple of guys. But to see where he was when you were here the first time, and to see where where he's at now, the trajectory is pretty remarkable. And to see what he's become and can continue to become, was that one of the things when you thought about, I need to get back there to that situation too?
Yeah, his growth over the year has been amazing. I think he's just found this more seriousness of the game, of what he needs to do with his body to be able to play these games at a high level consistently. And I think that's been his biggest knock, his career, being available. Mm-hmm. And I think he's taken that personal. I think he's taken it more personal when I got here. And I think that's when he really started to really hone in on what he needs to do for his body so he can, maintain that same aggression that he has throughout the years. So just watching his growth and seeing what he's done with himself has been truly amazing. So that's another piece of why I want to be here, just to make sure that I can help him the best way I can.
Yeah, because you can come in here and spell him and save him for the most important part, which is
the off season.
Yeah, that's what we need.
That's where we need him.
Yeah.
We're talking to
postseason. That's the most important part.
Exactly. We're talking to Andre Drummond, new 76er once again. And Andre, I wanted to ask you, you talk about teammates, the culture of the team, the way they play, Joel Embiid, all of that. But what else is there about Philadelphia?
The city, man.
That lures you back. And what about the city, though, in particular?
I love the fan base here, man. They've been on me from the moment I left.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
The moment I left, I just felt love. The moment I got here, and I felt it more when I left. Like, just coming back here, it always feels like home. It felt wrong to not give it another chance and at least be here, for the next couple of years and try to make something special happen out of this. I feel like I owed it to them.
Yeah. Oh, and they're going to appreciate you for saying that, because they might feel that way too. Did you hear that? Because everybody's talked about it, and I asked you down there about everybody saying, the best backup big, the best big to ever play with Joel Embiid is Andre Drummond. We said that for seasons now. Joel Embiid has been the first to say it. And then you hear the fans, they've been clamoring. I'm sure you see them all over social media on that. That has to make you feel good.
It feels good to be wanted, and it feels good to have your game appreciated. Because what I do isn't sexy. It's not the things you see on the sports top 10. Like, you don't see what I do on TV, but it's appreciated that I help winning. And that's the most important thing.
You mentioned that you also saw Tyrese when he was basically a rookie.
Right.
And then now you see what he is, an all-star, most improved player. But you said you recognized that in him.
Yeah, I saw that from the beginning. Just his work ethic was the most beautiful thing I've seen in somebody his age, especially for a kid who was kind of thrown into the fire. You know, he had to be the starting point guard, I think it was the second year I got here. So he had to be a starting point guard for a team that is really, really good, and he had to learn a lot in a short period of time. And he's done an amazing job of learning the game, and not only learning the game, but finding ways to make himself better and the guys around him. And it shows.
Yeah, it does.
When you are a starter, which you were for a long time at the beginning of your career, and then, you know, the backup thing becomes a thing.
Right.
How do you mentally, like, is the preparation all the same? Was it tough for you to, like, everybody knows you as the best backup center in the NBA. Is that okay with you? And how do you mentally prepare to be that?
I mean, there's two ways to look at it. I mean, one, again, having that mentality that I still am a starter is what kind of pushes me to keep playing the way I play, because I don't want to settle, but I'm also okay with helping one of the best bigs to ever play this game. Like, there's a difference between being a backup and really helping somebody. And I think I bring that to this team, and especially for him too. I mean, he wouldn't want me back if I didn't help him in some kind of way. You guys could have still had the other guys that were here. So it's an honor more than anything to be back here in Philadelphia and to be a part of something bigger than me. I mean, it's not about being a backup. It's about how can I help this team win.
When you were here a number of years ago, and now you're entering your 13th year in the league, you credited the Sixers' opportunity, Doc Rivers at the time, for kind of really giving you a resurgence.
Right.
Do you think about that still? Because it could have turned out differently.
Yeah, I think Doc did a really good job of helping me adjust to that new role, because it was hard for me to, like, grasp what the hell was happening to me.
Yeah, it's different because you go from best starter, like best rebounder, to, like, now this.
I didn't know what was going on in my career and why the shift happened or what was going on, but I think I needed this time to really focus on what's more important. It's not about the individual aspect of the game or what I can do in 30 minutes. It's about what can I do in the minutes I'm out there to help my team win. So whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's being a starter when Joel's out, or it's coming in for 15 minutes, or just any reason at all, if I'm helping, impacting, winning, I'm satisfied.
What do you know about Nick Nurse?
He's a great coach, champion. He is a very different kind of coach from what I heard, in a really good way. I think he is going to be able to help me project my game in a way that I haven't seen before, at least from what he said to me. So I'm looking forward to what he's trying to bring out of me.
I like that.
Andre, explain to our listeners the evolution of your relationship with Joel Embiid, because a lot of them just saw on-court stuff early on in both of your careers.
Right.
And then, you know, teammates, and now, you know, obviously friends. But what was the evolution kind of your relationship?
Yeah, it went from me despising playing this guy on a nightly basis to loving the dude. I mean, I despised playing him because of how good he was and how difficult it was to scout for him every night. And I admired the way he played. I mean, he plays hard, and he knows how to play the game the right way. It doesn't matter what nobody says. No matter how he gets it done, he's impacting winning. And that's what I admired the most about him. And then getting the chance to play with him, I mean, the dude works hard. I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for the hours that he puts in on his body, the stuff that he does to make sure that he's able to play. I mean, he can only do whatever his body allows him to do. So our relationship built from there, like just from the first day, just talking to him and, you know, hearing what he's been through and what his life is like. I took that time to do that because it's bigger than basketball at the end of the day, which is why our relationship is where it is. I'm a big people person, man. You guys see me, I smile all the time. I'll talk to a fucking wall if excuse my French. I'll talk to a wall if I could. But I just like to see, you know, what people really are like. And he's a great dude, man. And he's always checked on me throughout the years. He's always, you know, shot me a text, or I shot him a text to check on him and tell him that he's, you know, doing great, and I'm really happy for him. So
Does it frustrate you, though, as a guy who's played basketball your entire life, that you have this guy that rolls up here at 13 and like, oh, basketball, that might be fun. That might be something fun. And here he is. Like, really?
God-given, man. God-given. He's a talented guy. He's gifted, but he's also worked hard. A lot of his skill set is obviously God-gifted, but he's worked at his skill set.
That's good. See, that's a good attitude. I would have been like, seriously, I've been doing this my entire life. And look at him.
Well, Andre is not a jealous person,
That's
Amy,
right.
as we have
He's a
found
better
out.
person than me.
Andre, listen, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We are here every day, 10 to 2. So, you feel like talking hoops and you don't want to talk to a coach or a teammate.
Or a wall.
You just dial me and Amy up. Yeah, or a bleeping wall. You just dial up me and Amy. We'll be here. We'd love to talk to you, and we wish you good luck this offseason and during the season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. Andre Drummond, new Sixers backup center, joining us today. When we get back, we'll have Amy back with us, dive a little deeper into what Andre had to say, and we'll take you into the best show ever. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. 1:30 on this steamy Tuesday afternoon, but a fun one. If you've been listening, as we got to talk to Andre Drummond just now, Caleb Martin earlier. Amy is down at the Sixers practice facility. She got to listen to and talk to Kelly Oubre a little bit earlier via Zoom, as he wasn't able to make it to the practice facility. But I just want to tell you, thanks to Mike Vito, who did all the work behind the scenes to allow us to be down there and get the players and all of that stuff. Amy for running around and grabbing everybody. Awesome. Ray, people don't know what a cluster mess it is for you in there to have everything all lined up. So you guys did great. It allowed me just to sit here and be the idiot that I am. So good job by all of you guys today. Much appreciated. And Aim, we talked earlier about when we're watching Summer League games about little things. It's not the big thing. It's the little thing. Man, do I get a little thing vibe after us talking to Caleb Martin, after you hearing Kelly Oubre, after just talking to Andre Drummond. A little thing of, man, the vibes seem good.
The vibes are very high, and you can't underestimate it. And I know I sound like a broken record, but it really is. When you see these guys walk in, when you saw Caleb walk in, when you saw Andre Drummond walk in, there was just an air about them of excitement. They were genuinely excited to be. Obviously, you heard Andre Drummond talk about, like, this is where he should have been. And his first, hey, welcome back to Philadelphia. How's it feel? Feels like home. That was his first thing. Caleb Martin, well, why here in Philadelphia? Why not? This is a great place. These guys they're bought in. They're bought in for the teammates that they're going to have. They're bought in for the coaches that they're going to have. They bought in for what they can help build here and continue to build here. And Andre Drummond, I think, has a different experience, obviously, having been here. But the vibes are high, as they should be. They're building a very good thing, a very positive thing, a good team. And I know that people out there, but they're still missing. Yeah, all right. They're fully aware that they're still missing guys on their roster. They know they only have 9 guys, really, that they have under their roster right now. They're fully aware of that. It doesn't mean they're done, but it doesn't mean you can't discount what they've done just because you're waiting for the other piece. I think and you and I have talked about this, over the last couple of months. You start to look ahead, and then you forget to enjoy what's happening in front of you. You're allowed to enjoy what's happening in front of you and still think about, like, hey, yeah, down the road, it would be really nice if they got this, this, and this. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy this right now, right? You can't discount anything that's going to happen just because it hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. And for an Andre Drummond to say that, he gets into the league at 19 years old. He played years in Detroit. He played in Cleveland. He played for the Lakers. He played, of course, here in Philadelphia. He played for Brooklyn, Chicago. Like, a lot of cities there, big ones included. And he comes out in his 13th year and says, yep, this is where I want to be. That is pretty cool. Like, the vibes thing, it's a little thing, but it's these little things that build up into being a winning organization. I think this is one that they're getting close to crossing off their list of, we need better vibes. You got it.
Both of those guys that we've heard from today, and you can count Kelly Oubre in them as a third guy, talked about the culture, talked about what is happening here. And that is a positive winning culture that they want to be a part of, that they want to help. Andre Drummond had other offers. He wanted to come back here to Philadelphia, and he said for a couple of different reasons. One, to play with Joel Embiid again, and because he felt like there was unfinished business. He didn't say this, but he said it in a different way. He refound his basketball identity here. And I distinctly remember talking to him when he was here before, Doc Rivers was his head coach. He was almost to the point of being like almost emotional, talking about how this opportunity at the time really helped him reinvent himself as what he is now. And he said he had to make that shift of a guy that was trying to be the center to, listen, maybe this is my role, and I need to look at it as the minutes I'm out there, those need the best minutes. It doesn't matter if I'm not out there for the 36. Maybe I am starting today to give Joel Embiid a rest, or if he's injured or whatever. I thought that was really important. That's basically what Kelly Oubre said. I fell in love with basketball here in Philadelphia. Caleb Martin had other opportunities for more money, and he wanted to come here because of what is happening in Philadelphia. Those three kind of sentiments across all three guys are the same vibe. They like what they are doing here, and they want to be a part of it. And I think that goes a long way when we're talking about vibes. This is not just fans out there being like, yeah, I feel really good. These are the players that are experiencing it, and they want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I hope the national media is listening to how much players actually do like playing here in Philadelphia. Andre Drummond was great. Charlie in California loved him also. Charlie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, good morning. One of the most impressive interviews I've ever heard of a professional athlete. The man is smart. He's articulate. He understands all aspects of the game. He's very strategic. And when he said, one of the most impressive things he said, that when he's watching his teammates play, it helps him understand how he can best position himself when he's out on the floor, when there's a missed shot, and so that they don't waste the possession. I mean, that's really broad thinking, and I'm just so impressed. This guy is coach material. He really understands the game.
Yeah, it's funny. I think, Charlie, having been around athletes, my whole professional career, I think there's a lot more of that than people see. And maybe, our fault not reporting it more about how much intellectual time goes into their sport, whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, football, whatever. And he's another case of it, right?
Yes, he's just tremendous. I mean, never missed a word. I mean, it all flowed. It's not the first time he has thought that or said it. I mean, this guy is the real deal. He will help that team. It helps all these teams. It helps to have player leadership in the locker room, and these guys are going to listen to him.
Yeah, totally agree. Charlie, thanks so much for the call. We really appreciate it. And they should. I mean, Amy, you said it, and I'll bet you it perked a lot of people's ears. He's been in the league 13 years.
13 years. 13 years. Grew up in Connecticut, went to UConn, burst onto the scene, and, as a rebounder. And he knew that was going to have you heard him talk about the niche that everybody can have. Oh, you're going to be a scorer. Obviously, he can score. There's no doubt about that. But the rebounding was his mark. He wants to go down as the best rebounder to ever play the game. And right now, he's in that conversation.
It's funny, when I was telling Andre the story of me being down in Orlando, watching him come out, I can still close my eyes and see him taking the court. And a guy that I knew that was in the Detroit organization, I turned to him and I'm like, what do you expect out of him? He did say, watch this kid rebound. He also said, yeah, we got to get him in shape. Because Andre Drummond came into the league as a big, big kid. The next year we go to Summer League. He was in it again. I couldn't believe the transformation. And he's done a good job of keeping himself, in good shape, in NBA shape, in shape enough that Joel Embiid goes out for a couple of games or so. The Sixers are comfortable with throwing him in that starting lineup and giving him those 25-plus minutes a night.
I think that's so important. And when he talked about his role, he talked about it's a compliment to him to hear Joel Embiid and everybody else say it's the best backup. It's not a knock. I think maybe 5 years ago he would have been like, I don't view myself. He doesn't view himself as a backup, and that's why he's comfortable with being called a backup. He has the starter mindset, and I think that's what helps him because he knows, especially here in Philadelphia, this is such a unique situation. Backing up Joel Embiid is unlike anything else. One, because of the production that Joel Embiid gives, obviously offensively and defensively as well, but because of the way that the offense is run with Joel Embiid, when you lose him, it's such a difference maker to have him off the court. He knows that, and I think for him being at the place, and he talked about how Joel Embiid has, taken better care of his body. I imagine those guys have conversations about that. Here's a guy that's lasted 13 years in the league, playing at a very high level, in demand type of player. Joel Embiid recognizes that. Are they on the same skill set? No, I don't think that either one of them say that. They know Joel Embiid is a former MVP. But there's certain things that Joel Embiid can take away from a guy like Andre Drummond. I think Drummond views himself as a guy that's here to help Joel Embiid both on and off the court. They have a very good relationship.
Yeah, it was cool to hear you when you said we started the beginning of the interview and you said, "Oh, you should see the smile on his face." You could hear the smile.
It's very refreshing. Just to see somebody just so, you said it. You hope the national media, they won't because whatever else, we're still, we boo Santa. But his joy of when he walked in through the door and then when he sat down next to us up here, and it was just like, I am just so excited to talk to you guys about being back with the Sixers. Genuinely excited. And you brought up a great question or observation when he said, I like to sit down and watch my teammates shoot the ball after I'm done practice. He's collecting data as to where they miss, where they most likely miss, so that he can go after offensive rebounds. I thought it was such a great point, Aim, because if he does have to play games without Joel Embiid,
and he's a starting center, your offense does break down. Well, how do you get second chances? How do you get easy baskets? It's offensive rebounding, and as he said, it's demoralizing.
Yeah. When he started describing that, it is demoralizing, and we saw it on the flip side of how many times you saw Isaiah Hartenstein get another rebound, Josh Hart get another rebound. They're extending their offensive possession. He saw it. He saw the Knicks series. These guys watch all the playoffs, especially since they're not in them for certain players, and he saw that. He knows what it can mean to have. So when he's describing that, those offensive rebounds, he's describing that. I'm like, you're talking about your teammates. You're saying after your practice. You're saying shoot around before, your game with your teammates. These are offensive rebounds. So he's noticing, like, all right, this guy has a soft roll off of it, or if he shoots from the side, it goes off to the. That's incredibly astute. What an observation, and what a thing to really kind of catalog for him. So when he gets in the game, okay, Tyrese Maxey's shooting, he misses it, it rolls off this way, or it comes this way, and he gets himself, like he said, his feet are always moving. That's a guy that has decided, I'm going to be the best rebounder. I'm going to do that for 13 years, and he's done it, and that's where he is.
And that's half the battle when it comes to rebounding, the one, as we've talked about, and people have told us very often. 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Lyon Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's counter locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. All right, when we get back, Amy and I are going to finish this thing up. We're going to talk a little bit Phillies action. What do you expect tonight going against the Dodgers? It's that big of a series. I want to look at each game individually. We'll talk about that, finish up with some Sixers. All that to take you into the best show ever with Tyrone, Ricky, and Silvana. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. welcome back. Last few minutes of our midday show. Glad you joined us today. Great day as Sixers throw out their new players for us to talk to. Caleb Martin and Andre Drummond joining us on the show today. Kelly Oubre, he still owes us a favor. We got to put this in the notebook, and I know Sixers PR, you're listening. Kelly was all set to come on this show in the middle of the season. Something came up suddenly. He had to cancel. He made the promise. Tell those guys I had to come on with them. I owe them one. Today was going to be the payback. Now he owes us two, but we'll just consider it one, right, Aim?
We'll roll it into it. We'll get a 2 for 1.
Yeah, we'll do that. So we appreciate and thank all the people, Rob King, down at the 76ers for being so good to us as there's been a lot of moving parts going on over the last 12 hours or more, actually, that people don't even know about. So we appreciate everything the Sixers did. But, Aim, good day. It's not...
Great day.
How many thousands of these have we been to, which is just because it's our job? You often come away with feelings like, okay, that guy's here, whatever, I got to write a story on it, I got to go do a TV hit on it, whatever. But today had a feel about it. And I'm not one that, dissects interviews or anything like that, but this wasn't a press conference. This was when we got Caleb Martin and Andre Drummond on air, this was a conversation of, hey, how's it going? Great, man. I love being here.
Yes.
That's honestly what it was.
It was kind of like, hey, how's it going? It's going unbelievable. I'm ecstatic to be back here. The devil's advocate was like, of course they are. But the thing is, these guys had other offers to go other places. They chose Philadelphia, and you saw the genuine happiness, really, in their faces, all three of them, and you could see it in Kelly Oubre as well. You saw the genuine happiness. Kelly Oubre returning here to Philadelphia. Andre Drummond, with a stop in Chicago, returning here to Philadelphia. Caleb Martin deciding to not go back to Miami, to come here instead to Philadelphia. You saw and heard that both with their expressions and with their words. The genuine nature of everything that they expressed, I think, really kind of portrayed their happiness. They're excited about getting this team, started. They're excited about everything they've seen this team do from afar in the cases of Andre Drummond and Caleb Martin, and they're excited to go to work with the guys that are their teammates. And they all mentioned, obviously Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid. And it's not just like, hey, I look forward to playing with them. They gave very specific answers about what they're looking forward to playing with them, what those guys can bring to the table, and what they can bring to the table playing alongside those guys.
So the big story in town, now that we have, the new Sixers are being introduced, I imagine that sometime down the road where you have people scattered. Nick Nurse is in Vegas. Some of your, assistant coaches there in Vegas, all of that. But I assume that within the next couple of weeks, I would say that they'll have Tyrese Maxey and Paul George do kind of the same thing that happened today. And when that does happen, hopefully we'll be able to bring you the same type of coverage that we did today. But, Amy, great job by you getting everybody running around and doing what you did. Appreciate you for doing that. So we're going to switch scenes a little bit here, Aim.
Yeah.
I don't want to say expectations. I don't want to put too much on a 3-game series. But it is exciting. It is fun. Is there anything you want to see out of these 3 games against the Dodgers? Maybe a team that you're going to have to beat to go to a World Series down the road. But is there anything you kind of want to see in this 3-game series from the Phillies?
I want to see Schwarber go yard, and I want to see Bryce Harper score from first to home. That's what I want to see.
Wow.
If you want to get specific. I think for me, it's about those guys showing that they are indeed back and healthy and ready to kind of put a bow on this time where we were just trying to stay. Hopefully the Phillies can just stay afloat. They can be above 500, which they did. I'm ready to put a bow on that time frame and to move forward as the team is constructed or how it should be constructed. Obviously, JT Realmuto coming back, hopefully after the All-Star break, timing-wise, it looks like that's going to happen. To me, in this series, I want to see the team look like how it's supposed to look. They are who we thought they were. I understand they're still shorthanded. I understand that the pitching staff is still not going to be completely right. I think JT Realmuto has a hand in that. I think that if you can get 2 games from the Dodgers, that is a huge boost. I think even 1 game. We talked earlier in the show about how will Rob Thompson manage these games? Is there a scenario where it's a close game in the 8th inning, he really starts moving a lot of pieces around? I think there could be, because it is such a big boost to beat a team like the Dodgers, given where they are in the standings of Major League Baseball and where you are in the standings of Major League Baseball. It's no surprise, everybody, these teams are 1 and 2 in the National League right now, and you want to beat the best teams out there.
I'm going to make Rob Thompson's job a lot easier right now. You ready for it?
Yep.
Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm, Stott, Castellanos, Marsh, Ketcher, Rojas. Here you go, Rob. The only thing you have to change over these next 3 games against 3 right-handed pitchers is your catcher, whether it's Stubbs, whether it's Marchand. Is that fair enough?
I think that's completely fair. I mean, it helps that they're right-handed
exactly.
pitchers, so you have Marsh in there. But I would go one further. Even if there's a lefty thrown in there, I would start him too. I think you and I are on that same page. But yeah, give you some semblance of how this is supposed to look. Given everything that's gone on with the injury stuff, it would be nice to see the team look as healthy as possible. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, I joke about like guys going yard and scoring from first or whatever. Those are the things you want to see to know that they're healthy. But really the most important part is seeing the team as you're supposed to see it.
Ray, how good would that make you feel? I will say it again for you. Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm, Stott, Castellanos, Marsh, Ketcher, Rojas. That's for your 3 days. All you have to do is fill in that number 8 spot. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought about it. I
Marsh.
don't know. I was thinking maybe Marsh 5, Stott 7, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I could deal with
but
that.
I mean,
All right.
those.
Okay.
The
Just
overall
generally
idea
the
of it,
people.
yeah, keep it simple with 3 right-handers. The key being the 3 right-handers there. Yeah, I'm good with that.
I will make this prediction that Stott being moved back in the order, I think we're going to see like a really good 6-game stretch before the All-Star break from him because a little bit more comfort. I am getting a little worried he just doesn't look Stott-ish, and Tyrone's talked an awful lot about it. But I think we're going to see more of the, air quotes, normal Bryson Stott for these final 6 games. Maybe it's a wish, maybe it's a hope, but that's where we
waited
are.
out Castellanos. I think you can wait out Stott.
I agree with you totally, Amy. So big series starts tonight with the Dodgers. Again, thanks to everybody that made today happen. Mike Vito, Amy, you, of course. Ray, great job. People don't even know how much you did back there. You guys were absolutely wonderful today. We're so good, we're going to bring it on back tomorrow. That's right, the bar will be open tomorrow. Bob, Amy, and Ray, we're all back together. Stay tuned. Best show ever. Thanks, everybody.